And you want a mile of a fabric like that, don't you, really? It's just beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. It reminds me a little bit of a K-facety type fabric. It's very, very bright and designer, isn't it?
Bright and fun, yeah.
Love it. Well, listen, that one will run out of the door by itself, won't it? 2096888 is the item number. It's £9.99, for heaven's sake. Right, OK. Now we've got this bag here, which is called Sail Away. So I thought you said staying away then, actually, Molly. It's sail away, because I thought, well, staying away, that's just not an option right now.
No,
sailing away is not really an option yet either, but we all know the joy of sailing away. Oh, OK, right, so another 40% of the stock has sold out and gone already. You've been shopping ahead of us. Now, this is a really, really big, big bag as well, isn't it? So is this kind of like a day at the beach kind of bag?
Yeah, that was the idea, yeah. So getting ready for those times when we can actually get out of the house.
Yeah.
You'll be ready and prepared for it.
By the time
we'll be
you've
ready.
made it, hopefully you'll be able to use it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm making the cheese and chutney sandwiches as we speak, ready. But not quite yet, but we will. 990-186 is your item number, 37.99, 40% of the stock sold out and gone. I've got a stock update for you, and it is from the Mini Baltimore in teal. Has technically sold out, so you do have it in your basket. Please do make sure that you check it out as quickly as you possibly can. We do still have the pink option available, but the teal has technically sold out. We'll let you know if any bounce back or anything, if anything changes as well, but grab that quickly while you can. Oh, another update coming your way as well. You will get to demo sometime tonight, by the way. OK, the carry-all sewing kit, fabric kit, has also technically sold out. Is that when it's gone as well? So that has gone. So congratulations. If you have it in your basket, please make sure that you check it out as quickly as you possibly can. Right, OK, we better get started then, hadn't we? So where are we starting tonight?
Well, we're going to start with the Mini Baltimore, so we better do it quick.
Yes, before the other option goes.
The satin stitch applies to all of them.
Yeah, it does. This will apply to any of our ones with applique on.
Brilliant.
What I wanted to show is, I've given you a whole layer cake with that kit, and you're not going to use all of it. So what I've done is I've decided to make myself a sewing dolly door. No, that's the wrong one. I knew I'd do this. Susie Show and Tell mini quilt to go with it, with the leftover fabrics.
Ah, brilliant.
So this is what I had left, whole bunch. And I've put together myself, from that Mini Baltimore book, another block. And I've done it on a different background. So this is one of the fabrics I had in mine. And then I've got other bits and pieces. So I've opened up your Mini Baltimore book. And I've chosen the pattern I'm going to work on. And the reason I chose this pattern is because it's got tiny, weeny little flowers on it. And to be honest, when I was designing this, I knew it was possible to satin stitching, but I wasn't looking forward to it. I thought that's going to be a task and a half to do those little titchy, tiny little flowers with satin stitch. And actually, what I'm going to show you is it wasn't anywhere near as bad. In fact, I whizzed them through and went, oh, that was easy. So what I'm going to do is make Mum do it instead.
This is where I might sabotage you.
Yeah. Right.
It's the little blue ones, isn't it?
Yeah, little blue ones. So what I was going to say is when Mum does her satin stitch, and when we usually do it, we do it with the 2.5 width.
Yeah.
We do, which is a nice width when you're doing satin stitch, and that's what we do with the blue Baltimore. However, with these Mini Baltimores, I found 2 was better, so a little bit narrower than your normal width on these. It just makes it that bit easier because the shapes are a lot smaller.
The scale is a bit smaller.
Yeah, so
it does tell you all the details about how you do this, how you set your machine up and everything in the book.
It does.
Fabulous.
So,
yeah, so off we go.
Right. Make sure you do it properly, Pam. I don't want to play referee tonight, but...
No.
I will if I need to.
There's some jam tarts on the line here. If she doesn't do it properly, she won't get a jam tart.
What you do is you stop on the outside of the curve. When you come round, look, you put your needle down on the outside. I haven't one stitch, and then that's the outside of the curve on that bit. Right, you turn it, and then you don't get a gap in it. Now we come up to the inside bit here. Needle down on the outside of the curve, which is on that side now because it goes in. There you go. Down and around. You can keep turning as you go, but you will need to stop now and again. Right, here we go. Outside of the curve, turn.
I was emailing with a lovely lady this week. She was saying that she'd got the outside of her satin stitch on the outside of her edges perfect. She was really happy with that, but she wasn't sure why she was getting the inside of it a little bit steppy. And I was discussing this with Mum, and what we've come to the conclusion really is it's practice. So if you're doing this and it's not going as well as you think and you're doing everything right, it is practice, and don't be worried about it. Practice. That's the best thing you do. And to be honest, by the time you've done one of these quilts, you'll be such a pro. If you look at my quilts, you can probably, if you really look with a fine-tooth comb, you can see the block I started with and you can see the block I ended with, because that will be really quite shoddy and the last one will be really good. Because, yeah.
Something else as well.
Yeah, go on.
One more thing. When you're looking at it close up and you're doing it, you can see every little tiny thing that's wrong.
Yes.
When you come back to it the next day, it's as if the fairies have been at it and made it perfect.
Yeah.
So it looks really good when you look at it later.
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? If you've got a quilt and it's on the bed or the back of the settee, or it's hung on the wall or whatever, people looking at it, it's like jewellery, isn't it? No one is looking at it like this.
No, that's it.
The person that makes it will always say, oh, don't look at that bottom corner because I didn't quite get that corner square or whatever.
Yeah.
To the naked eye, no one would ever spot. If you look at that quilt behind Pam and Emma there is no way you would... Yeah, you go as close as you like, Webster. And we're going to go right in.
It's pretty good, actually.
Look,
she's very good at it.
The phrase on point... Look at that. All the satin... Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. We've taken a breath, which means we've got an update.
Oh.
OK, pink border on the Mini Baltimore. 40% of the stock now has sold out and gone. Is this another, if it's gone, it's gone?
Yeah, it's the border fabric. I haven't got any more of that.
Right. OK. Don't forget you do need your pattern book as well. I'll just remind you of the details of that very, very quickly, because that has all of the blocks in there. Which is brilliant. 496 567 £17.99, and that is produced by Emma herself as well, which is really, really good. Yeah. So it's very clear and concise and everything, so at the scale you need it to be as well, which is really, really good. Right, sorry, where were we?
That's all right. Mum's done that little flower, and I think considering how small that is and how tight those curves are, she's done a fantastic job. I don't know if you... Yeah, there you go. You can see that. That's done there. And that didn't take her a minute. And was it really hard? No. No, it's not as hard as it looks. So don't be put off by how small these shapes are. However, if you're a bit worried about doing your satin stitch, the other option, and certainly with this colourway, but any colourway you like, is to do a blanket stitch by hand. I quite like doing this, actually. I haven't done it in years much. But I've got a black perle thread. Now, you can match your colours to the shapes, but if you don't want to, you can do black and it gives a lovely edge. And I'm going to show you with the black because it shows up better when I'm demonstrating. Yeah. So I'm going to come up there, and I am actually upside down. I can't do it that way up. I'm going to have to go that way up. My head won't work that way. So I've come up on the edge. I'm bringing my thread up. So remember, it's upside down for you. I'm going along there and along there in a right angle, as big as I want to do that stitch, and I'm thinking probably more like 1/8 of an inch. Now, when I've gone through, I'm pulling it through that loop that I made. Oh, I'm in a bit of a knot. But I'm pulling it through the loop that I made on the top, and as I pull it, I'm going to get all the threads that Mum's left hanging down. And I'm going to do it all wrong. What am I doing? Oh, I know what I'm doing.
She's got her knitting in a knot,
yeah.
Pam.
She's got her knitting.
I am. That's because I'm talking and I'm not thinking. Right, sorry, I've got my loop. Don't stitch through that loop. Everybody that was watching it was going, you've done that wrong. Oh, what I had. Yeah, you're quite right. So, keep that loop. You're going to come back up again. That's the difference.
You see how much easier it is to do it on the sewing machine?
Yeah, it is. So I'm going to get it in the right place. That's close
actually
enough. So I've come up just above that stitch that I've just gone down on. There we go. See, that's what I meant to do.
There you go.
There you go. Ooh. And then you've got that little step, and you're going to go all the way around like that.
Oh, OK, yes.
So my thread's on the top. I need to go back down again. Not go through that loop. There we go. And back up again. And actually, when you get going, you're a lot quicker at this. You could put it in a hoop. I probably would. At the moment, I'm not, because I've got stitch and tear on the back for satin stitch. You don't need stitch and tear when you're doing blanket stitch. In fact, it's a lot harder to take the stitch and tear off.
OK.
You need it when you're doing just satin stitch.
Yeah, you have to put stitch and tear on the back with satin stitch.
Yeah.
Because?
It's a stabiliser.
Right.
And you'll get it flat and beautiful. If you don't use it, it bunches it up and it looks messy and people wonder why. And that's why.
It's one of those tips to doing good satin stitch. Stitch and tear is necessary.
Rip it off when you've done, and that's great.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
Is that the same then if you wanted, because you were doing the satin stitch with the with the sewing machine, yeah, but there, should I say. But you know your sewing machine has lots and lots of fancy stitches.
Yeah.
So if anything where there's lots of stitches close together, you'd use the stitch and tear
I
for
would.
that.
Anything
Would
that
make it
goes
easier.
sideways, any of the little fancy stitches,
Yeah.
like the little stars and the
Yeah.
little
Crescent
loopy bits
moons
and anything
and
like that,
things.
you want the stitch and tear on the back.
And because they do lots of little stitches, it tears through the stitch and tear when you pull it off, whereas hand stitching is usually a lot further apart, and it doesn't tear very easily.
Oh, I see. That's the difference. It's
Yeah.
the proximity of the stitches to each other.
So there you go. This is not the neatest because I'm doing it, I'll tell you, without a
The
hoop.
causes, the hoop stabilises
Yeah.
when you don't have stitch and tear on the back.
That's it. So
Ah,
I
Same
would.
thing,
I'm a big fan of hoops, so I would. But there you go. So you could go all the way around. You can see that even in the black, which you wouldn't think necessarily would look good, it actually edges everything.
Look at that, that's
Cool.
lovely.
So kind of cute.
love it.
Gives more of a
Looks-
countrified feel.
Country
So
look, yeah.
that's that. That's how to do that. And I'm not going to
You
sit and do
could
the whole
straight
thing.
stitch round it.
You could, and I have done that
Some
in the
people
past.
do that, and I mean,
just
Emma,
on the
you
inside.
used to do that until you got into the satin stitch, didn't you? Do you remember?
I did blanket stitch to start with by hand, and then I ran out of time when we opened the business, so I did blanket stitch on your machine, and you can do that.
And
It's
then
quite
you
fun.
did straight stitch.
And then I got fed up of doing that, so I did straight stitch right on the edge, sort of about an eighth of an inch in. And I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to do it very neatly, but actually it's a lot easier than you're thinking. Again, practice comes in there. And that will hold. With the sticky stuff that you're using, it doesn't fray out, and it does hold really well. I've got quilts that I've made years ago that still look good. But
And-
then Mum showed me how to do satin stitch.
And the because there are how many different types of flowers are there in that block?
2.
2. So actually, you could stitch one type of flower with one
yes.
stitch and another with another, couldn't you? And the leaves could be a third different stitch.
Yeah,
couldn't
you
they?
can do whatever you like. I love sewing.
Love
There's so
it.
many options.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it, love it, love it. Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? Because it means it's a. Sometimes in the quilting world, because I say this all the time, but sometimes when people see the word quilt, they feel the shiver go down their spines, and they think, oh gosh, it's all full of rules and this, that and the other, and things that must be done in this order, in this way. And actually, again, we've got generations of experience here in the room with us right now, telling you, oh, you know what, there's loads of different ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat, apparently, isn't there?
absolutely.
There is. Don't do
yeah.
it, though, because that's just cruel.
No, absolutely. But you know what I mean, don't you? It's just a turn of phrase. Right, OK. So, all the youngsters in the gallery are going, oh, what's he just said? They've never heard that phrase before. Anyway, so you know what I mean, though, don't you? So, the Blue Baltimore fabric pack. Now, remember, if you're wanting to make a Blue Baltimore, you will need the fabric pack, and you will also need the book as well. So, the fabric pack, let's have another look at the quilt, though, because it's just like... Fabric pack is 60% sold out and gone. It's behind Emma there, you can see, look,
Look how pretty.
oh, it's so beautiful. And it is about the fabrics that you choose. That's the magic. I mean, the design, yes, is absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful. I'll never take that away from you, because
No.
it must take a lot of blood, sweat and tears to come up with all of these designs. And I know doing the quilt maths is one of the most mind-numbing exercises when trying to design a quilt, yes?
Yeah.
You have to know what
Yeah,
you're
thank
doing.
goodness for inches. I don't know how the Europeans do it with centimetres.
I have no idea
Madness.
whatsoever. And I know a few quilt designers, and they say, oh, I wish I hadn't designed it so many intricate shapes in it, because it just makes the maths an absolute nightmare. But I know that you'll give us more than enough fabric to work with as
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
because you know that we're going to have one or two, you know,
Little
along the way.
hiccups. Yeah.
This is available on 2 flexis as well, £37.50. Remember, if you're going for the quilt fabric kit and do that on flexi, that's going to open up your flexi basket, ready for you to add the applique patterns and projects for Emma's Baltimore, which and this will show you all of the blocks, and will give you lots and lots of other inspiration as well. I mean, look at the things that you've got going on in here. So you've got all of the individual blocks, plus lots of different ways to apply them as well, which I think is really, really good. And I love the fact that the template is right next to the picture, because that's really, really handy, because there's nothing worse than going, right, OK, so I mean that one. So it's Appendix C at page 922. You don't have to do any of that with that. It's brilliant. Common sense. £19.99 if you want that one. 116330 is your item number. Right, OK. Burton Manor Applique quilt kit. Half of the stock has sold out and gone. I am not surprised. This is the one where, again, we'll see the finished quilt in just a second. £125.99, and you will also, so you get all the fabrics that you need for the quilt top. Plus, you'll get of course, the full instructions, and you'll get a 10% off the Quilters Trading Post quilting service as well. So if you don't have a long arm machine for quilting, or you can't, because it's an 80-inch square, isn't it? This one?
Yeah, yes. It's a big one.
So if you've got like a regular sewing machine with a regular sized throat, then you might have a bit of a wrestle. So pass it on to Jane, isn't it?
It's Jane.
Jane will do the quilting for you, which is wonderful. And what you can do as well is you can contact Quilters Trading Post. All the contact details are there when it comes out to you. And you can say, right, OK, how much is this going to be? Of course, then I have my discount, and, I don't have batting and wadding. Will you supply that for me? And you can have all of those conversations as well. And they are lovely, lovely people. And it gets you get the chance to have a conversation with these two lovely ladies as well.
Yeah.
183491 is the item number. Right, the Baltimore, the mini one. This is the 36-inch square, isn't it, if I remember rightly? Now, we've lost one of the options already. The teal has already gone. The pink is 40% sold out and gone. I am going to show you the teal just to show you the overall design, because this is the finished article. And I hope I've got that round the right way. I guess there is. Is there a right way? Yeah, I suppose there is. That looks right to me. Is that right? Looks all right? Looks all right? You weren't even paying attention,
that's right.
there, were you?
No, I wasn't at all, no.
They were doing a crossword, I think.
Well...
You've got the birds the right way up.
Yeah, it's the birds that do it, yeah.
Looks right to me. It's difficult to see from back here. I love the colour and I love the variety in that. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's on 2 flexis for you as well. So it opens up a flexi basket. That's a quilt fabric pack, remember. So you will need to go with that. The mini quilt book as well. This is the pattern book. He says, getting hold of it the right way. It's nicely bound as well. Beautifully. Beautifully bound. Do you have somebody do all of this for you, or do you get involved in this as well?
We do.
Well, that one, I do that one myself.
I love it.
I love stationery, and I managed to get myself a binding machine. I'm in heaven.
Do you know what? It's just so clear and concise. Sometimes people put too much detail into something, and they make it look like an exam book for a PhD.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, I don't need that. I just need something simple. I need to know it's simple. I need the text to be a really, really good size for my, plus 4.5 eyesight or whatever it might be. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really good. Yeah, no, I'm not. I think I'm a +1 in one eye. Oh, it's complicated. 17.99, 496,567 is your item number. We don't need to go into my life. Let's do Susie's show and tell right now. This is Susie who's showing and telling you, everyone right now, her 5-inch quilt. Look at that. She's made that herself. She's very proud of it as well. I love that. 40% of the stock of that kit has sold out and gone already, so you get all of the fabrics that you will need to make that. I guess the only thing we need to... So we get the complete pattern to make the doll.
Oh, yeah.
The doll and the quilt.
OK.
You're getting the fabrics to make the doll body and the quilt. You need your stuffing, any weight you want to put in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
You'll need a tiny bit of wadding for the quilt, and as you say, you will need a ball of double knit wool for the hair. I didn't put that in because you want to choose what colour hair you want to put on your doll.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You might go for whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Like to match somebody in your life, maybe. 011797 is the item number. Right, moving on. Dolly Dawn. Dolly Dawn, who's got her pin cushion on board as well, which is... Oh, I shouldn't put it there, really, because it looked like she was Dolly Dawn nearly +1 there. But this is Dolly Dawn and her pin cushion.
Expecting Dolly Dawn.
Actually, 99, approaching 60% of the stock sold out and gone. It does come with the pattern, of course, and the fabrics that you need. Fabulous fabrics as well. It's really nice, cheerful, that one, isn't it? And it's a good companion because, of course, she'll hold bits and pieces for you as well. Your air erasable pens and tape measures and billy doos that you have when you're working with fabric. 435738. Billy doos not included. I should just say that, shouldn't I? 19.99. You'll have to provide your own billy doos. Right. Okay. This everyone needs in their life. Everyone needs in their life. Do you know why? This, what's this one? Beautiful Blossoms. Bright Blossoms. The fabric in Bright Blossoms. Oh, gosh. Look at that. Oh, my word. Oh, you know that. You know you need to bring this on a show by the ½ metre one day, don't you? Because that's. I would imagine it's very difficult fabric to get hold of. But isn't that awesome?
I'm not sure I've got much left of that. It's just too nice.
Yeah,
I've given you a nice big piece though. You're not going to need the whole thing for the owl, but
absolutely.
It's such cute fabric. I couldn't not give it to you.
I do need a shirt made of that.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would work.
Yeah.
Love it. Very, very nice indeed. Anyway, listen, it's to make these gorgeous owls here. So Bright Blossoms is this one, and Soft Woodlands is this one. So where were we stock-wise? Sorry, I was half listening. I think... OK, Bright Blossoms over half of the stock. Soft Woodlands is catching up, approaching 40% of the stock sold out and gone. So do be quick. I love the little technique there with using, it's almost like matting and layering when it comes to the eyes, but you're doing it in fabric, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I chose that fabric for the Bright Blossoms, because I was like, I could make eyes with that.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, you can choose whichever flowers you like, because some of them are quite wonky, so you could have some real fun with that.
Yeah. Oscar is 8 inches tall, if you needed to know. Why would you need to know? No, because I don't know why we would need to know that, because it's kind of like, okay, well, I've got an 8-inch. What is it that I need to measure in my life that this needs 8 inches for? I don't know. It's good to know, though, isn't it? It's good to know. I suppose as well because I'm shorter than the average presenter. It's, you know, it might look bigger than that on TV. Everything looks bigger on TV, doesn't it? Including this. Right, let's move on to the sail away bag, which is absolutely sailing away. In fact, half the stock has already gone. That's wonderful, and that is really gonna. I love the fact there's little rainbows incorporated into that, and that's a printed fabric actually, which has those rainbows are already incorporated into. So that's not separate little patches. One of the fabrics here, you can see. He says finally, you can see is. You use it in strips and it's got rainbows and a bit of thunder and lightning, a bit of snow.
It's basically a British summer, isn't it? Look, right there.
Well, it's the kind of weathers you experience when at sea.
Yeah.
And we all feel a bit at sea at the moment, don't we? So when we can get back to the beach, then this will be the perfect size bag as well, because it is huge and capacious. And you can quilt this, of course, afterwards as well, because it's quite manageable size pieces to quilt. Because I guess you would leave that middle bit, wouldn't you? Well, you could add waves to it if you wanted to.
Yeah, do whatever you like on that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. £37.99, 990186. We've got a picture from Wendy, I do believe. Let's have a little look.
Oh,
Wendy's got a Pam.
That's a Pam doll. That's fantastic.
Well
done, Wendy.
Well done.
That's so cute.
I love it.
I love how they've all got different individual characters.
Oh, yeah.
So
They
sweet.
don't have to be Pam dollies, they can be
She says
anybody
the
dollies.
instructions are really, really easy to follow, and she's very, very easy to make. And she loves everything that Pam and that you two do.
Mainly me, though, who like my stuff.
Oh, I'm not getting involved. Not getting involved.
No,
right.
Mum's brilliant, so...
You're both amazing. Right, what should we do next?
Well, as long as we've still got stock left, I'm going to quickly show you how to make the patchwork star block. What I wanted to do was show you how enjoyable and straightforward it is to make it. So the first thing you're going to do, and also it will go on the back of my applique block that we did earlier. So
the patchwork star block is from the
mini Baltimore book. Sorry,
mini Baltimore.
From the mini Baltimore. So this one here. So it's the patchwork block.
Mini Baltimore.
There you go. It's that one.
I mean, poor Molly was like, "Oh, where's that block from?"
That one. Yeah, just because I know everything without, telling everybody.
Run off.
So what you're going to be doing is cutting all your pieces out, and unlike a lot of times, you actually cut your triangles just because it's a lot easier. When I made the quilt up, you'll notice that all the blocks are all different pieces. They're kind of a what's it called?
Mishmash.
Yeah, mishmash works. I can't think of the word. So I cut the triangles beforehand. There's other ways of doing it if you're wondering why I haven't done it that way. It's because it's all different. So I've got all my little 1.5 inch squares, I think they are, and you're basically going to make up one of these. And Mum's going to make that up. I don't think I need to show you how to do that, actually, but she's going to make that up. You know how to do that, don't you? Like this, here.
You know how to do that.
She knows how to do that.
How long has she been sewing?
A few years. A bit longer than me, funnily enough.
More than 70 years.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. It can't be.
That tells your age, doesn't it?
Oh, no, yeah, don't say that. No. Oh, that's one. We were having a conversation. You know, when you were doing your show before, I was next door with Leonie, and we were having a conversation about what we should do is set up like an awards thing for guests. So from our point of view to guests, and actually. We made up a most loved category, and you were the winners of that. And I was saying, and I was saying them, I want them to adopt me, and I want you. You're like the Morecambe and Wise of Hochanda. I love you both.
Well, thank you very much. I feel really impressed with that.
You're so entertaining, and you're so lovely. And I did say as well, I've said to a few people today, if anyone walks in halfway through a show and you're on, they can't leave because it would be terribly rude. Do you know what I mean?
Would.
It would,
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
it?
you're quite right.
You can't leave your show. You're so good.
Thank you. What I'm going to do now, and there's no reason to do this other than that I'm going to be mean to Mum now after all of that, is that she doesn't necessarily know what I want her to sew, so I'm actually going to mark this for her.
Before.
Oh.
Just putting a line in there because I haven't got my binding clips that I usually use. But you're going to take 2 of your triangles. You're going to have 2 different size triangles when you've cut it. So you're going to have the smaller ones and the larger one. So you take the smaller ones, and I've got a diagram. I always use my diagram, to be honest, on this book here. And it's this one here. Because I know that my piece of plainer fabric, the white or whatever background fabric, is the one I want on top, and I want it to lay out the same way.
Oh, can I say something about the pressing?
No.
Yeah, go for it.
Don't press it on the back. Don't turn it to whatever side it is. I mean, I've turned it to the right side, but that doesn't matter. You can't see it. I should have turned it to the dark, but it doesn't matter. It won't show.
It doesn't really matter. It's not going to show. No. But you want them going in different directions when you put them together.
When you iron it across like that, so that you get all the little crease out from there. If you iron it from that side, you can end up with a little crease, and that makes a huge difference to a quilt that size.
Right, yes.
Yeah, it does.
Inches.
Yes.
We have problems quilting quilts that have got little tucks in like that because the machine will find them and push them. So you want to keep it as flat as you can,
Right,
especially for quilting.
And it's difficult to go back on that kind of thing, I suppose, isn't it? Because this is smaller dimensions on the mini Baltimore as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I learned that little trick from somebody from America, one of the top quilters, because we used to go to classes in Ireland for that.
Yeah.
And she told me that.
Actually, although these are smaller, you're still using your 1/4 inch seam allowance, but it does say that in the book.
Yeah. And it's not that difficult, actually. I'm not a fan of tiny, weeny little bits, as Emma knows.
She's not a fan of patchwork altogether, but you don't like sewing little bits,
like the applique with all the flowers and things on it.
She cracks me up because when she does a patchwork block, they're massive. Blooming heck, woman, what are you doing?
Yeah, but look at that, Emma. Haven't I made a good job of that?
You have. It's fantastic.
She's modest to boot.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
So you're going to make up 4 of these per block. So I've made 4. I've kept the fabrics this time because I'm making just one block. I've kept the fabrics the same, whereas when I'm doing the quilt, I have all these different ones different.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so I've got my 2 triangles. Mum's going to sew along that line I've just marked, which is that line on the diagram.
Yep. It's a lovely little project, this. You don't have to rush to do because the pieces are so small, it don't take long to do.
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, we're going to end up, all being well, with one of these, which, while Mum's sewing it, is going to lay out. I'm not sure we're going to have time to do all of it. Like a star.
We got 10 minutes.
We got 10. That's loads of time,
That's more
isn't
than
it?
enough,
Oh,
isn't it?
absolutely. Well, there's 2 of us, isn't there? I mean,
There is. I mean,
there
although
you
you
go.
could sew a bit fast. I'm just kidding. She's doing great. I'm just joking.
She's up again.
Right. So, and this, I am actually going to show you what Mum was talking about with the pressing. So I am actually going to press to the dark side. It's just one of those things you hear about that. It's not an absolute rule because there are times that doesn't work. And you can't press the dark side. But on this occasion, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If you can, you do.
Yeah.
But if you can't, don't worry about it.
So I've got the light side flat on my ironing board, and I've got the dark side up, and I'm just going to press straight over it. And that's literally all you've got to do. I occasionally will go on the back and just give it a quick press, but always press on the front because then you're going to get that seam as open as you want. And as Mum says, it can affect the sizing if you don't.
We've had quilts up to 7 inches, one or 2 quilts up to 7 inches bigger on one side than the other because they didn't press it or pin it properly.
Yeah, and that's not good.
Do you have to break the news to people sometimes?
We
then?
do tell them, yeah.
Jane's
but
very good at being honest. If it affects the quilting, we will say, you know, for future reference, It'll be
Excuse me,
easier.
madam, you've made a right pig's ear of this.
No, because that's not the case.
No.
We can quilt most of it out.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jane's really good at that.
Yeah.
She is fab.
You can do this with it as it goes through the machine, and it can stretch it out, but you don't get quite such a good job. But we still do them, and people
Do you know
love
what?
them.
Can I just say, ladies and gentlemen at home, so if you ever make a quilt and you're making like the first few, and it's a little bit, you know,
Wonky.
meh,
Yeah.
send it to them.
Oh, yeah, we'll fix it.
Come back beautiful.
Yeah, totally.
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
There's not many quilts we haven't been able to do.
No.
Okay, again, I'm just going to mark this so that Mum knows exactly where to sew it.
Okay.
So we're going to do a 1/4 inch. Now, you'll see that this triangle is slightly smaller
It is.
than the one I've put. That's because I'm not going to fiddle about cutting 1/8 of an inch. I always cut the 1/4 inch. We can trim it down.
Okay.
So I've put it down along that edge. It doesn't really matter whether you line it up with that edge or that edge, as long as you're doing a 1/4 inch. So I find it easier to line it up along that edge.
Okay, quick stock update. I just
Yep.
heard in my ear. Okay, the pink border, which is the only one remaining fabric pack left in the mini Baltimore, is approaching 2/3. I beg your pardon. So approaching 2/3 of the stock has sold out and gone. Remember, we've lost already one of the colour options as well. Don't forget the book. So the quilt pattern book. We'll put the details at the bottom of the screen for you there. They're pointing in the wrong place. There you go, there. So you need the book to go, because the fabric pack is one thing and the pattern to make it is the other book, of course, as well. But that's going to give you lots and lots of inspiration, and of course the block to make a million times over with other fabrics that you choose in the future as well. Oh, hang on a minute, there's more. The carry-all sewing bag. Okay, was a technical sellout. One has bounced out, so one is there for the taking if you want to bounce it into your basket. 413282. One left, one left, one left. Ladies.
So quick. Right, I've just pressed that open. Okay, Mum's sewn that. So because it was a little bit wonky, we need to trim it. And we know that this is of a certain size. We're going to trim it to the same size as this, which is the measurement in there. I like to use my diagonal, and in fact this ruler didn't have a diagonal marking, so I got my permanent marker out and I put one in, a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to cut it to the size I need, and I try and line up that marking on those 3 sides. You can't really there because there's nothing to line it up to, and then it's just a case of trimming it down. If you don't get it quite right, you might not get your points into all of the corners. Doesn't really matter unless you're the quilt police. It doesn't really matter.
But if you're not wanting to win a competition
Yeah.
or a quilt show,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Now,
Have you ever been to any of these quilt? Because they have like massive like quilt shows and conferences and whatever. Obviously, you know, when travel was possible and whatever. Have you been out there and ever seen them, or is it one of those still to do?
what, in America?
Yeah.
No,
No,
not
never
in
been
America.
to one in America.
We
Have
do
they,
the
have they
English
had
ones.
such things here in the UK as well?
Yeah, Festival of Quilts.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
We do
we
that.
have a stand at the Festival of Quilts every year.
I've never missed one of those. Not from trading there, but I've been to every one since they first started.
Yeah.
Have
we
you?
have.
Which was when, if I might ask?
I can't remember.
gosh.
Too many years
It was
ago.
part of the Knitting Stitching Show.
Yeah.
The first one was part of the Knitting Stitching Show. And we were like, because we went to Knitting Stitching Show, we were like,
Yeah.
this is great. And then we found the quilt and we were like, wow, this
Yeah.
is better. We never went to another Knitting Stitching again. We went to the Festival of Quilts after that.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
such a good show.
And we
And you'll
tried
talk to anybody, Europeans, Americans, they're very impressed with it. It's a good show and we're
Yeah.
very lucky to have
It's
it in this country.
international.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is international.
We are very lucky
Yeah,
to
it is.
have it.
I've been
Well, we
to a
will be.
couple of them, Festival
Yeah.
of Quilts. It's usually at the NEC, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is at the NEC,
in
yeah.
Birmingham. Of course, I'm not sure what the state of play is this year because I forget
No,
what
it's
time of
not.
year it happens. But
We are booking for it, but I'm not sure if it'll happen.
yeah, I would always keep an eye on all of
Yeah.
the big
Do.
quilting shows. There is Knitting and Stitching show, and there is Festival of Quilts, and there are others as well. If you want to go and have a little look, I mean, I doubt many of them, to be honest, will be happening this year, alas, because of the situation. But as soon as they can again, gosh, the next Festival of the Quilt's going to be a busy one.
It is.
So-
I'm kind of dreading it because I've got out of practice now. No, I love it. I look forward
We
to
do.
those.
That's our holiday. We don't get any other holidays.
Yeah, because what it's
Bit of
what
Buffman.
5 days is it? 3 days or 5 days?
4.
Four. Right. Okay. Well, there you go. Lucky guess.
You were close, yeah.
I know I've been to a couple,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
and people go around with these huge, like suitcase-like trolleys.
Yeah.
And that's where you get to see the long arm quilting machine. I always do this when I say long arm. The long arm quilting machines that
No,
can
this
do
is a long arm.
embroidery and everything else.
That's a short arm.
You could be talking like £10,000, can't you, for one of these fancy?
No way, no. More like
Ours is
35,000.
35?
Yeah. Well, we've got ours are Gamels.
Got two.
And they're beastie machines, yeah.
Right.
And they've got computers on, and the computers on their own cost us 10,000 each.
Yeah, so
Just for the computer.
you can see them there. They're fab.
Awesome.
So much fun.
Other brands are available, I feel, at
They
Pins
are,
to
yeah,
say.
yeah. That's the one we have.
Yes.
Lots of others. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay, we've done all our little blocks, so you can see. I'm not going to make Mum sew this all together, but you can see how it is. So that's that little block. That will then be a 6-inch or 6.5-inch block, and it will fit on the back of our little. If I can get hold of it, there it is. With threads attached, our little embroidery. It doesn't look like it will, but it will. Okay, once we've done all our seam allowances, and we can make a little quilt. And in the Susie show and tell pattern, because this is what we're making it for, there is instructions on doing single fold binding, because this is such a small quilt. You don't really want to put double fold binding on there. It's quite thick. So I have given you instructions on here. It's in the quilt pattern. Yeah, mini quilt pattern. Here it is. I've got to show you this. This is fab.
Look at that little pattern.
This is your little quilt pattern that you're going to get with your Susie show and tell. So we've got a little pattern cover,
I was just thinking,
instructions.
which I do once a month, and the mini quilt, you could use as individual little coasters, couldn't you?
You can
I
use
think
them for
they're so
whatever you
cute.
like.
You could put
So-
heat-resistant doodah underneath them, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
They have a little competition for mini quilts like that at the
Yeah,
quilt
festival,
festival.
yeah.
Yeah, you can see all the little tiny quilts that people have made, and
See
they
how
win
many
things
little-
with them.
I wonder if there's like, special
Binding
note
instructions.
for intricacy. Because there's so many different shapes you can use in quilting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
would
There's only
think
certain
so.
sizes you can handle, I suppose, isn't there?
You won't catch me making
you can't go too small. That's
No.
you literally can't, because that fabric's got a thickness to it.
Yeah, of
so
course.
yeah. It's one of the reasons why we came up with Susie Show is that you can take off her quilt and make new quilts for her. And if you like making miniature quilts, this is a way of displaying them.
Yeah.
Oh, how's she attached? How are the?
Oh, it's stitched.
I've just stitched it on because she goes to shows. They
Yes.
kind of get lost.
You don't want, you don't want them to be separated.
No, when I'm getting them in and out of boxes and stuff. But you don't have to do that. You could
She's cute.
attach it however you like. Pins, yep.
So you get the fabric and the full instructions there as well. You just need a little bit of wadding. Obviously, there's stuffing to make her, and some wool to make her lovely hair, which you can do in any colour. I don't know why I pulled it there like that. That looked wrong in some way. Anyway, Susie's showing and telling her little 5-inch mini quilt. I need to go home now, I think, really.
It's getting late.
It's an hour with you two. That's what does it. It brings out the devil in me.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
I love that block. I have to tell you, it's been a very, very busy hour. Really, really busy hour. I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. Everything is on the web as well. I do urge you to check out. And I do urge you definitely to go and look at the Oscar Al kit, because even if you don't have a sewing machine, you've never done a sewing project, you want something to do, you want something that's the most fabulous fabric. It's 8 inches tall, by the way, if you need to have it. Bless you, Molly, at the last moment. Listen, lovely ladies, when are you coming back to see us again?
19th of March,
Fantastic.
3 and 7. Yeah.
I hope I'm here, as always. Stay safe,
Yeah, well,
both
thank
of
you
you.
very
Thank you,
much.
you too.
You are amazing, and you've already won our most loved guest.
Oh,
Everyone
really?
agreed when we were talking about it over there.
I can't believe that's made my day.
Didn't even have to do any
honestly,
bribery.
We
It's
adore
great.
you. We absolutely
thank
do.
you.
And please come back with some Pam and Emma doll kits as well.
I'm going to work on it. Yeah.
We've got a snowball.
We were talking about an Easter project, weren't we?
We're going to have an Easter Pam doll. I'm sorry, I was going to do Snowman Pam this month, but she melted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weather got too
Well,
warm.
she's thawed out now, hasn't
She's
she?
thawed
Yeah,
out.
unfortunately.
Listen, bless you. Lovely
Thank
lot.
you.
See you in March. Listen, please do make sure that you check out your baskets. These are just the most darling people. I love them to bits, and I know you do as well. So please do check out your baskets and stay right where you are, because there's always plenty more to do. Back to the amazing monthly mega deal from All and Create right now, and Tracy Evans is back for another hour after the break with Hayley, then more from Julia and Fairy Hugs and so much more.
Hi, I'm Barbara Gray from Clarity Stamp here in the UK. Teamwork makes the dream work, and at Clarity we are designers and manufacturers of, dare I say, beautiful, top quality and award-winning craft products. We are home to the very first, the original transparent art stamp. We hand make them here in Kent, and our talented illustrators are always coming up with new original concepts and wonderful artwork. In addition, we design and manufacture top quality stencils and masks. In fact, we also make precision cut reusable masks for our stamps. Since January 2017, we are also the new owners of Pergamano International, bringing together a wonderful blend of old and new parchment art. We are so fortunate to be able to showcase our newest and best products here on Hochanda, and to be able to demonstrate our art ideas to you, our Hochanda friends. So if you would like to learn more about Clarity stamping, stencil work, parchment art, both groovy and traditional, please join us, myself and the Clarity team here on Hochanda, for ideas and inspiration.
Exciting news! For the 5th year in a row, Hochanda has been awarded the top accolade of Platinum Trusted Service Award from Feefo. These awards recognise businesses that deliver exceptional experiences as rated by you, our customers, and we're honoured to have been selected. The Trusted Service Award means you can shop with confidence, based on the reviews from over 60,000 Hochanda customer experiences. Thank you for your independent reviews. It means a lot to us.
Kay Fassett is a distinguished artist, designer and author who has used his background in knitwear design to create an expanding range of bold and beautiful fabric prints for the Patchwork Market. Join me on Hochanda, where I will be bringing you a wide selection of beautiful fabrics at fantastic prices.
Hi, I'm Lucy from Sweet Poppy Stencils, the Craft Station Limited. We're a craft retailer and we specialise in stainless steel stencils. Our stencils are manufactured in metal. This allows us to have designs that are intricate. We also have new products coming on board, our craft bonds, our pole drops, and our acrylic paints are joining us. We've recently joined Hochanda and we're really excited. This allows us to demonstrate and show our products. We know customers like seeing the demonstrations, so make sure you tune in and don't miss the Sweet Poppy shows on Hochanda.
Hi, my name's Mel and I'm from Crafty Devils down in Devon. We are a family-run business and we've been established for about 16 years now. We're known for our MDF products and our mediums. All of our MDF products are produced in Devon, in the UK, and we have a wide variety of products to inspire you. So if you watch Hochanda, you'll see us put together and decorate our designs to inspire you so that you can make your own crafting projects. So make sure you tune in to all our Crafty Devil shows on Hochanda.
Hello there and welcome back. Well, we are incredibly excited here at Hochanda, and I'm sure you can understand our excitement because we have got the most amazing weekend ahead of us. Lots of exciting stuff coming, some brand new, some things that you've already seen during the course of the day. And of course, we have got our fabulous guest for the hour, the lovely Tracy Evans. Tracy, good evening. How are you doing?
Hello, Hayley. I'm very well. Are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited as well. You caused quite a stir earlier.
Yes, I'm really pleased with the release. I must admit, they always look better in real life than they do when you're actually designing them. So it's quite a surprise when they come.
And I know that from looking at the finished samples and the buzz that everybody's had, I mean, everybody always looks forward to new things that you bring to us. And we've got some wonderful stamps, and we've kind of got like a bit of a bonus, really, when we start talking around what we've actually got within the set.
Yes, I mean, obviously, you've got a mega bundle for the whole month, and that's with the 3 designers. But you've also got the bundle that I've got on the counter, which is the alphabet, the pheasant, and the heart set.
Yeah.
They're in my traditional collage style.
Yes.
And as we always say, and I know I repeat myself, they actually go with the whole range that I bought out previously, so that if you've spent your hard-earned cash, then they work with everything that you've previously bought.
Yes.
But then I've bought out some quirky characters because, as a designer, I think you have to offer variety, but still stay true to your style.
Yes.
I think I don't want to detract from the style that I've got, but I think it's important to try and appeal to a wider audience, but still in the same style.
Yes.
So with the quirky images, they've still got little tiny touches of detail in the body, but I want to show that you can use them in a mixed media style.
Yeah.
They don't cute quirky doesn't mean that you've got to use them in a cute way all the time.
Yes.
You can use them in a canvas, as I showed in the first show at 6 o'clock. You can use them in cards or journals. It's just thinking outside the box. And the good thing about this range is all the designers' stamps actually all work together beautifully.
They do.
You know, all the background stamps work together. It doesn't matter whether you're using Janet's or whether you're using Bipasha's stamps. They all work together beautifully, and that's why it's quite nice there's a mega bundle, because you can use a little bit from everybody's stamp set, really.
Well, this is it, and this is a key thing. And when we're talking about sizing of the stamps as well, everything is kind of sized significantly, so as everything comes together, whichever designer you choose to go for. And that's the thing that I love about the All and Create range, and it covers so many different areas.
I think that's an important point, actually, Hayley, because sometimes I think, unless you actually design stamps, I wasn't aware how much work and effort goes into designing the stamps. When you design the stamps, you think you can just put something on paper or on a computer. Mine are all on paper, I'm so old-fashioned. But you think you can put them all on a computer and that's it. But what you have to think about is that I've bought floral stamps out before, and if you want the images to work with the floral stamps you've bought out before, like the little characters, if I want to sit them underneath a flower, or I want to sit them next to the mushroom stamp that I've got, they need to work with those stamps. You can't just chuck a release out. It takes a lot of thought and preparation.
That's it. You must have an astounding memory as well, I must admit. Now I'm going to let you get ready.
It's getting worse.
I think that goes for all of us. Now I'm going to let you get ready for your demonstration. Definitely, definitely. Now, while Tracy gets herself ready for a demonstration, let me show you those amazing stamps that we've been chatting about. So let's have a look at Tracy's to start with, because of course she's one of the designers in this kind of monthly mega deal that we're going to be sharing with you. Let's start off with Tracy's kind of section here, and you'll see Tracy working with these during the course of the hour. So down at the front there you can see you've got 3 large stamp sets. These are A5, and you've got all 3 of these. They're heart, grunge, pheasant and snippet alphabet. Now together you are going to get 55 stamps. They are available individually, which is okay. If you want to kind of cherry pick, then you can do, but you can see the details at the bottom there for your heart. Now just to let you know, approaching half the stock has gone of that particular one. Now the pheasant stamp set I saw Tracy working with earlier on, absolutely amazing. amazing. So many layers, so much interest, so much content within here. You are going to have a whale of a time. I just think that little top hat, that little hat there just needs to go on the head. A third of the stock has gone with regards to this one. Again, £17.99. Then as we work across, you can see that funky alphabet. This is brilliant. I mean, just used in its entirety together, amazing. But if you can't start snipping into this, making your own words with this, your own sentiments, your own sayings, absolutely incredible. And of course, as Tracy quite rightly said, they all work together. So any of those three, you're looking at £17.99. They each have their own individual item number, but then they come together. When they come together, you've got your saving. That's what you can see on your screen at the moment, and it means you can get hold of all three of these over 2 payments of £24.99, and you've got £4 saving. Now, mentally keep a hold of that £4 saving, because you'll need to hang on to that one, because I'll be telling you something, how you can still take advantage of that, but get more. So details on your screen, that will get you your 3 A5 stamps, and as I say, they're saving your £4 on that particular one. Jumping ahead of myself now. The next set that we've got for you can see beautifully on top, and this is where you kind of got that quirkiness, that fun aspect that Tracy was talking about. And this one is so cute, you quirky little friends. I mean, when you look at these, there could be dogs, there could be foxes, they're just quirky little characters, as you can see there. But you have got your quirky friends, up away, and happy dog. 21 stamps over these ones, and again, you can go for these all together at £31.97 if you wanted to. Oh, I love those little birds, so cute. Now, if you want to get them by themselves, you can. Details are on your screen. But do you remember that set we were chatting about just a few moments ago with that £4 saving? Well, guess what? You can get the 2 of these bundles together, which is brilliant. So, changing the details around on the screen. Now, this is Tracy's complete collection. If you're wanting these, then the details are on your screen. Now, that £3 saving is in addition to the £4 I was telling you a few moments ago. So, overall, you are saving £7 on this one, bringing the price down to £78.94. Naturally, you will want to spread the cost. Well, of course, you can do. But before we spread the cost, what about a cheeky additional discount? I hear you say, yeah, give it me. Well, here you go. On your screen there, you can see this £10.89 saving is in addition to that original £4 that I was chatting about earlier. So that means you have brought that price right the way down, if you're a Freedom member, to £71.05. And naturally, you're wanting to spread the cost, so you can do that as well. 76 stamps you're getting. 76 stamps, there's a lot of content in there, but it's not just about the number of the stamps, it's the configuration and the way you're going to be using them. You have got almost endless possibilities when you are playing around with those. And this is the thing, you've got so many different styles within that complete collection, you can work with them in loads and loads of different ways. I mean, have a look at this. I often would think of pheasant, maybe tweedy theme, maybe earthy tones. Oh no, check this one out, those bright, colourful tones. And I love that because it's kind of bringing a kind of a traditional bird of the countryside into the modern day kind of artiness. But the silhouette doesn't have to be a silhouette. It could be that kind of Zen doodle style that you can see there with that inner element there. And again, lots of supportive stamps that will work around it. Again, if you're working with your art, then you might take inspiration from the lovely Jo here, where she's done a page that would look brilliant, whether it's just going straight into a frame. I mean, that injection of colour, absolutely beautiful alongside the black, or it could go as a page into your journal. But don't forget, if you're going for the complete collection, then you've got the characters too, and these are simply adorable. You are going to have so much fun with these, and I love these because sometimes you might be working on a larger project, maybe a mixed media project, and let's face it, sometimes they can go on for months, not because you're dragging it out or anything like that, or it's hard, but you keep adding to it. And sometimes if it's a large canvas, you want to take the time. Well, with these, you've almost got breakaway projects that you could be collecting and making. Look how cute are they? Beautiful Easter card, absolutely adorable. Throughout these, you're going to have loads of fun. And then you've got the kind of the thought that you could actually use these in things like your planners as well. Absolutely amazing. Love them to bits. So all of those 76 stamps with that saving, fabulous, fabulous value for money. But before you pick up the phone and place your order, bear with me, because you will notice that we are extending this deal. Oh boy, are we extending it. Talk about going large. This is amazing. Look at this now. This is our mega monthly deal. And it's huge. You are getting a lot in here. you are getting 146 stamps. But what is even more important is all of those savings that I mentioned a few moments ago, you are not losing out on those, because those savings are coming with you with this monthly mega deal. So when you look at that saving on the screen there, that's £15 in addition to all of the other savings that you're going to be making, because it's kind of made up of different components. So what that means is the saving that we're taking from obviously the bundle that we were just looking at, adding it in with this particular bundle, then you can see you've got a huge saving overall with your 3 flexi buy payments. It's £35 overall. That's what you're saving with these. Amazing, isn't it? But if you're a Freedom member, guess what? Oh my goodness, you are saving £32.78 in addition to all those other savings. Don't forget your post and packing as well. You're not going to be paying for that because that is part of your Freedom membership kind of etiquette. You're going to get your post and packing as well. So if you're not a Freedom member, then you certainly do need to be getting hold of your Freedom membership to work with this one. Because in addition to that, if you thought that is an amazing deal, wait till I start telling you about the bonus gifts that you're getting with this one. Because in addition to everything that we've been talking about, you're going to get these fabulous stamps and washi tape to the side of me here, and you can see there they are worth £25.28. So overall you are looking at a saving of over £80, and that is going to more than cover the cost of the stamps that we're going to be seeing Tracy working with during this hour. It really is an amazing deal, and loads of you have been taking advantage of this. And this is lovely because you kind of got the amalgamation of 3 different artists coming together with this amazing deal that we've got on the screen. All their different styles, but all of their styles come together. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Now, can't wait to see Tracy work with these. So we're going to head over and see what Tracy's up to. I can see that she's ready and raring to go. Oh, you're working with a hot air balloon. I love this one.
Yes, I'm going to be working with the hot air balloon. I've actually changed my demos around just so that we can have a look at the quirky characters. I'm hoping that you can see me okay, Hayley, because I've done something with my screen. Don't ask me what, because I'm a technophobe. So I hope you can see me okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually working in greens at the moment, Hayley. I'm actually working with a minimal colour scheme. And the idea is that using a minimal colour scheme, if you haven't got much product, but you've got stamps, it's to show you that the stamps can do all the work. But I don't want you to think that obviously they don't look good in any colour scheme. So just to show you this one, just so that you can see that it doesn't matter whether you do them in beiges, whether you do them in greens, you can get lots of inspiration depending what colour scheme you work with. So the characters don't have to be cute, they can be quirky, and they can work with a mixed media background. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use the Neurons stencil. Now, the shows this time around are a little bit different. Normally, I add about 150 layers to a card. What I'm trying to do this time is to show that the stamps do all the work, rather than the opposite way round of having lots of layers and then putting your stamps on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a simple background. I'm going to use the Neurons stencil, and I'm going to use Twisted Citron, Distress Oxide and Hickory Smoke. It doesn't matter, you know, you can use any water reactive ink, whichever you prefer. But if you're working with a square stencil, just remember to wipe the edges of your stencil. You don't want any of those straight edges. Now, I'm just going to spray my stencil off camera because I don't want to spritz the water all over the card. So I've just done that off camera. I've just spritzed it with water, and I'm just going to place that down onto my card. And I'm just going to give it a few seconds to react with the card. And if you haven't got this stencil, you can shop by brand, and it's called Neurons. But the shows this time around are actually really sort of spending a lot of time on the stamp designs and showing the quality and what the stamps can do.
We've actually got the stencils detailed at the bottom of the screen there. They come as a set of 4 alongside the nodes, the interconnect and the components, and of course the Neurons that Tracy's working with there. So if you want those, you can add those in and spread the cost of those with your bundles as well. That looks amazing.
So as you can It's just a simple background, Hayley, because that's what we're doing this time around. We're not concentrating on the background, we're concentrating on the stamps this time around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the hot air balloon. Now, the hot air balloon, if you look at the top of the balloon, it actually coordinates beautifully with the Heart Grunge stamp set. That was all done on purpose, so that if you wanted to, you could break this balloon part off from the basket, and you then can create a balloon that you can use with the characters, or you can add the characters inside the balloon.
Oh, it does.
And the other way, yes, they go inside it, and you can also use the basket on its own that will go with the flowers that you've bought in previous releases. So
Yeah,
just so that you realise.
I hadn't noticed that, but you're so right, Tracy, there. You can just see I've got the packaging up that I'm holding up to the screen now, and you can see obviously from the heart that you were talking about, and then obviously you've got the word
Yes.
create there on the top of the balloon. Very, very clever. And the numbers and everything, yeah.
You see? Every now and then, Hayley, I use my little brain. Every
Not
now
at
and
all.
then. As I get older, it gets worse.
Oh, it gets fuzzier and fuzzier, I can vouch for that.
I tell you what, mine's getting horrendous in lockdown. So I'm just stamping the hot air balloon. I think it's just important to mention that when you're using detailed stamps, even if you're using a stamp that's small in size, just get into good habits. Just allow your ink to absorb into the card. Don't be in too much of a rush to lift that stamp, because that's when you create mistakes. And if I can just lift that up, you can see the beautiful detail in that balloon.
That's
There's
amazing.
even little numbers
Yes.
here, just so that it, and the idea is that even though I've done cute and quirky, it coordinates with everything else that I've done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stamp the little fox as well. So we'll stamp the fox at the same time. And these little characters have been sized so that if you've got my previous releases, say that you've got the poppies or you've got the mushroom, then the characters will sit underneath the flowers or the mushroom or whatever. So it's all been sized so that you can use them with that. And what I've got here now is, if you look at the fox, you can see that the fox has also got a little bit of detail in its body and on the scarf. But I think what you notice is that when they're coloured, that's when they come to life.
Yes.
And all as it is a little bit of shading with a HB pencil and a coloured green pencil.
Wow.
I'm not artistic when it comes to colouring. I go for simple methods. So nicely shaded just with a HB pencil.
Fabulous.
So what I'm going to do now I've just waffled for a bit, it's given this background time to dry. And I'm just going to give my hands a little bit of a wipe, Hayley, with using white card. Because we've used black ink, we can get into habits of leaving dirty marks.
Okay.
So I just try to get into good habits.
Wonderful.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the balloon stamp, and I'm just going to stamp it once again onto the background of my card. And if you notice, even when you're on live TV, I always take my time with the inking. I ink several times. I don't just go over once. I ink that stamp several times, whether it's a small or a large stamp. And I'm just going to turn my card sideways, just because on this occasion, it makes the stamping a little bit easier. And I'm just going to stamp my hot air balloon. So the idea is just thinking outside the box with your stamps. And if you've got the All and Create acrylic blocks, you can just lift your acrylic block just either end, and you can lift it so that it gets the central area of your design.
That's a really good point.
More important. Yeah, it's a more important feature when you're using the big stamps. When you're using the little stamps, I mean, they're such good quality anyway, you shouldn't really have a problem.
Okay.
Now, what I've got here is I've got the balloon stamped, but I don't just want to leave it like that and have nothing else. I want to sort of build the layers and create more interest. So what I'm going to do now is just add a little bit more interest to the hot air balloon here. If you see on the balloon, there's a little bow here, just on the side there.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the heart on the pheasants. Let me just remove the packaging. On the pheasant, there's actually a little
Oh,
heart
yes,
here.
so there is.
And it's just getting the most out of your stamp sets, just making the most of them. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want the pheasant on this occasion. I'm just going to ink that heart. Just
Well, I
the
was going to
heart
say,
on its own.
there's no way that hot air balloon's going to take off with a pheasant that size in, isn't it? So I'm glad that you're just using the heart.
Shall we try to fit it in the hot air balloon, Hayley, and see if we can do it? So what I'm going to do is just place that over and just press without an acrylic block.
Oh,
and it
wow.
just gives me, and what you can do is just grab a black pen, and if you miss a bit of a line, just create a little squiggle, and you've got it attached to the balloon.
That's brilliant.
It's just thinking about your stamp sets and realising how they can all work together. It's just a little touch. So what I've got now is I've got the balloons, I've got them stamped out twice, because I don't do many flat cards. Sometimes I'll do lots of layers, but I don't tend to not have something that's built up. And normally I build those layers with stencils, washi tape, paints, inks. But what I'm trying to do is take you back to when we only had stamps and we didn't have as many other products in our stash.
Okay.
So the idea is that the stamps are actually doing all the work of layering, adding dimension, adding interest in your cards or in your mixed media projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this balloon to my card just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to stick that down. And before I stick.
I thought you said sing then. I was going to say, I'm up for a sing-song.
I told you I can't speak, Hayley. Oh, what am I like? So what I'm going to do now is take the little sentiment that says up, up and away on the same stamp set. Sometimes when you're all excited over your stamp sets, the words just run away with you.
Oh, that's, yeah, welcome to my world.
It's so easy to do. I don't think you realise sometimes how difficult it is on TV when you're trying to get your words out and they just leave you and you can't get them out.
Oh, look at that.
So what I'm going to do now is we're going to use the sentiment as a background stamp. We're going to stamp it around the background. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because you've got a lot of black here and then the green in the background. You want it to look like everything's meant to be there. So just adding some of that black in the background means that this isn't just splotched, just blobbed on the page. It looks like it's bought into the design. So I'm just going to keep adding a few of those sentiments just dotted around, just as a background stamp. Just take your time. And I think it's all about enjoying the process as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I'm a great believer. I mean, I know everybody's different. Some people love quick, fast cards. That's not really what I'm about. I'm more about enjoying the process. And if that takes me 5 hours or 5 days to create a project, then I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I'm not doing it because I want to rush it.
And do you find sometimes, Tracy, when you're working on a project, you might think, right, okay, I've finished, but then you might revisit it, like say a page in a journal or something like that, because obviously our range of different mediums that we get hold of and stamps can grow. So it might be that in several months' time, you might have a stamp that will work alongside something you created 3 months ago and bring them all together.
To be honest, I think that's the best part, Hayley, because on many occasions I will do a project and I just can't think of the finishing touch, and I'll actually put it on one side, and sometimes it can be not until another release comes out and I suddenly think, there's the missing part.
Yes.
So I do that quite frequently, so that's something I do quite often.
Okay.
But that's the fun. That's the fun of creating. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to add some dimension. So what I've done is I folded the balloon in half.
Okay.
But before I just add that dimension, what I want to do is just draw around the balloon. Now, and I often get asked, well, is it really worthwhile you know, adding the shading around the balloon. I'm always a great believer. It depends whether you want something handcrafted, handmade. It depends what quality that you're going for.
Okay.
And I think if you're making something for somebody and it's somebody that's special to you, then it's worth putting the effort in and adding the extra detail. And I think that's the good thing about Hochanda, that we're given the time to demo. And yes, sometimes we want a quick project, but sometimes we want a project that takes a little bit longer to create, but you've got that enjoyment of creating it.
That's
so
so very true.
So if I just lift that up, you can see there's just a touch of shading around that balloon.
Lovely.
And it actually makes it look more 3D. It makes it pop a little bit more.
Fabulous. So is that a black
now,
pencil that you use there?
This is an Inktense pencil.
Okay.
You could use a Stabilo. You could use a Stabilo All pencil, an Inktense pencil, or if you don't have any of those products, you could use your Distress Oxide ink, press it onto the non-stick craft sheet and use it as a watercolour and just go round with that.
Fabulous.
Just so that it gives it a bit of shading. Just helps to bring your project to life. So that, if we just get my scissors, just press that down a bit. Sometimes the only disadvantage of live TV is you haven't got time to wait for everything to dry, unfortunately.
So true. But I love the way that you've folded that, because obviously when we think of layering, sometimes it's a case of we've got flat layers, but I love that angle. It kind of adds to the shape of the balloon, that kind of circular feel that you get with a balloon.
Yes, and it also shows that, you know, there's so much, I think there's so much you can do with a stamp set. I just love stamp sets. I've always been a stamper, and I've never got tired of creating with them. They always inspire me, especially if the images that I like. Now, we've got the fox, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to chop his body, so I can't say
I'm going to look
that
away.
No foxes were harmed. So I'm afraid his body. So yes, there was a fox harmed in the making of this card. I do apologise.
Of course, you could save the other. You could save the other bit and kind of have it almost like there's a second fox, and you can just see his legs and his tail coming out the top of the basket.
You see, now you're coming onto my planet now. You see, Hayley. You see the weird planet. So I've just added a little slit to my basket, and I've added the fox inside of the basket. Now, the fox doesn't have to be inside the basket. It could be just below and looking up to the basket. If you wanted, you could also chop this part off and he could be holding the balloon. So it's entirely up to you how you use them.
Love it.
So what I'm going... Sorry, Hayley, did I interrupt then?
Sorry, Tracy?
Oh, sorry, I thought I interrupted. I do apologise.
No, not at all. No, I was just saying it's fabulous. It's lovely. We're just thinking about all the other opportunities to use the legs and tail.
What I'm going to do now is add the pheasants. This is just to show you that I've got a cute, quirky image here, and I've got an image that isn't cute and quirky, and you can use them together. Okay. And that's what I'm trying to show. So what we've got here is we've got the two pheasants. Let's bring this into camera. We've got the two pheasants just looking at each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those just below the hot air balloon, just so it looks as if the fox is up in the air and the pheasants are looking up. So, and also, if you're one of those crafters that are really good at creating scenes, then you could create your own scene inside an evening moonlit sky. You could create lots of different scenes if you wished. So just to give you lots of different ideas. So now, the thing for me is the pheasants are just plonked. They just look like they're sitting in midair.
Okay.
So we don't want that. So we just put the Inktense pencil just across the base. And these are what I call the finishing touches that are important for your card. Just to make it go from just a made card to a quality made card, you need to make sure that you add those details.
You almost need a little think bubble coming from them and thinking, yeah, well, he's in that basket, we're all right.
Yeah, that's very true. I actually thought that when I was making the card, Hayley. I did actually think that.
There's so many little phrases you could add.
So the thing is, with this card, we've got the green in the background here, and we've got the green on the fox. Now, I like to keep a white open space. I do like some white open space. But what I want to do, as I did in the 6 p.m. show, is I just want to add a little bit of the green just around the edges of the card, so it looks like that the background of the card coordinates with the rest, just so it looks like it's not just plonked there. It looks like you've thought about the whole design concept. It just brings the green, let me just lift that back up again, it just brings the green from the background just around the edges slightly, just to bring that interest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the sentiment once more in the white, and it won't be much longer before I finish this demo and we can move on to the next.
Fabulous.
Trying to be a little bit quicker, but still do quality demos.
Oh no, it's fine. We're having a whale of a time watching.
So what I'm doing now is I've got up and away, and this time I'm stamping it onto white card because I want that pop of a sentiment. And I always say to Abs that I think it's a good idea if, when you've got a designer that's designing stamps, I always think it's great seeing what the design team members make, and I must say a huge thank you to the design team members. They've worked so hard. But I think it's good that when you see what the design team make with the samples, it's also good to see what the actual designer makes with the samples as well, how they're inspired by their own designs. So, because I think that's really important. Because obviously, as a designer, you will envisage them in a different way to maybe everybody else.
Yep, very true.
So I think it's important to show that. Now, I've got that up and away. Now, obviously, when you're not on camera, you've got plenty of time to let things dry. When we're on live TV, we don't allow anything to dry. We just do it while everything moves. So it's not ideal. So I'm just going to add the touch of shading around that sentiment, just to make it pop a little bit more. Like so. Just. And then what I want to do, for me, where's my little strip of card? I often have bits of strips of card in my collection. I'm always cutting strips of card. But when I was making this card, there was still something else missing. And believe it or not, it was just a couple of strips. I've just flirted that one across the camera. It was just a couple of strips. I'm such a professional. It was a couple of strips of card. And these little strips, believe it or not, for me, actually finished it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these couple of strips of card. Sometimes it's the tiniest touches that bring things together. And it doesn't always have to be an embellishment. I will show you what I mean when these strips of card are just added to the card. So just add this one. Is that one a bit taller? Yes. I often talk to myself in my craft room as well. So sometimes I have to remember not to do it on a chat, Andy. So just add those strips. I forget myself sometimes when I'm on a chandy. Oh. So just going to add this little strip.
That's nice because it means you're relaxed.
I relaxed by about the 5th show, Hayley. So not doing too bad. And what I'm going to do now is just add some white splatters of paint, just with a Posca paint pen, just to give it a few splatters.
Yeah.
And try not to knock the camera so that everybody goes dizzy. And if you add this to a black mat, as you can see, the black mat makes it pop. But then, when you add it to a white card blank, let me just lift this up. Why do you always go fingers and thumbs when you're on live TV? When you add it to a white mat, but I think there's just one little touch that we shouldn't forget. Always remember the inside of your card. So what I do on the inside of this card is I would take the little fox, take him again, take the little fox and just add a little snippet on the inside of your card, like so. just so that you've got him stamped on the inside. Don't colour him, because you're just echoing what's on the front cover.
Yes, yeah.
And what I'd do then is just take a little bit of the Distress Oxide, use your packaging, your recycled packaging, just press that onto the acetate, just spritz with water, just a little bit, and just add that colour over your fox.
Oh, yes.
Allow that to dry, and what I would do then is add that to the inside of your card.
Yeah.
Just so, and I just add a bit of shading at the bottom, just so that it looks like you've thought about the whole process.
Yes.
And for me, when you look at this one, I've got it in an accordion because I've created an accordion book. But this, I've made it into a card. So that's why it's nice to put a little insert or add something to your envelope, whichever you prefer.
That's a really good
that's my
idea.
first demo.
And I love those little strips as well. It kind of brings the layer, the black from the layer, into the foreground.
Correct.
It's very clever.
I think it's thinking about what's in the background, bringing it forward as well.
Amazing.
So that's my first demo, Hayley.
Lovely. Should we let you get ready for your next demo while I tell everybody about your lovely stamps?
Yes, please.
So those stamps, they're amazing. And I love the idea of kind of bringing those two different styles together, because they did work so well, didn't they? Now, the first set that we've got for you is this set of 3. Absolutely amazing. You've been loving these. The pheasant we've seen used over and over again, but I love the idea of using them with those other elements that we saw from Tracy's demo there. So the pheasant, you've got your different aspects with regards to this, as you can see there. The little heart there, so easy to take that and add that to another project. The words supporting the design, and I love the way you've got that multi-layer look with these, where you don't have to think about it because Tracy has done it. But in those layers, she's put them together mindfully, thinking about other things that you might have in your stash from her previous releases, and of course we will see many of those little elements echoed in the future. Now, of course, the pheasant is one of those stamp plates. It's an A5 stamp plate, and you've got loads of stamps on there, but let's have a little look at the next one, because this is the one where, again, you've got multi-layers. You can see the hearts featuring in here, and as we saw earlier on with the hot air balloon, you've got little elements from that fabulous stamp there crossing over, and that's what it's all about. As a stamp user, I don't even think about that, because a stamp designer is the person that has realised that that's what you need. And as Tracy said at the top of the hour, it isn't just about taking a lovely piece of a picture or creation and just whopping it on a stamp plate. There's a lot of thought that has gone into it. So that is your second. Now, each one of these ones, incidentally, are available by themselves, and you can see £17.99 at the bottom of the screen, but they are part of our bumper bundle as well. Then finally, this set of 3, you've got those wonderful alphabet letters, as you can see here. Now, with regards to these ones, again, it's a brilliant set. It's a very usable set. When it comes to you, they are individual letters, incidentally. It's not one large stamp. So that means that you can take those different letters, put them together in whatever configuration you like. But to be honest, I kind of like them as they are. Kind of like them the way they are, but of course you can play around with them. But you do have your acetate, your printed acetate cover, so if you do want to kind of put them back into the order of the packaging, then you can do. So those 3 stamps available individually, £17.99, or as a bundle. Now, as a bundle, you are saving £4. You can see the deal on your screen. That's for those 3 together, which is a brilliant saving. And you've got the spreading the cost over 2 payments, £24.99. But then we look at the other stamps that Tracy has added into our mega monthly bundle, and these are beautiful. Now, these are brand new. I've not seen these ones before, and they are adorable. We saw the hot air balloon, and again, the content within that hot air balloon, as we said, from the balloon there, taking aspects of the lovely hearts that we saw a few moments ago, and the cross-pollination, the continuity that goes on is such a clever idea. It's not something that you kind of think of until you suddenly notice it. It's like a little light bulb goes on. Very, very clever. So that's that one, again, part of that set of 3. The other ones that you've got, again, really good fun. Looking at friendship here as well, these fabulous little characters. I just love the style that you've got with these. But again, that multi-layer lettering and numbers coming in. So again, everything's going to work beautifully together. And then you've got your third and final stamp with this one, bringing them all together with a happy dog. So in this set, you've got quirky friends, you've got up and away, and happy dog. And again, can you see, even down to the lettering of the word dog, That echoes with the alphabet set that we saw a few moments ago, and indeed the sentiment you can see running down the side of that stamp plate. So that's what Tracy's talking about. Everything works together. She's done all the thinking. One of my favourite phrases is the thinking has been thunk, and that's what Tracy has done for us. Now if you want these two sets together, then you're still going to have that saving we were chatting about. So this is Tracy's complete collection. So if you're wanting to get hold of these, you can see the deal on your screen there. You're saving an additional £3, which means overall you're saving £7, giving you that price point there of £78.94. Naturally, you'll want to spread the cost, so yes, we've accommodated for that as well, and you can spread the cost. But as a Freedom member, you've actually got an additional saving. So rather than £10.89 on your screen, you're actually saving an additional £4 because, of course, that's what we mentioned previously. So you're going to get that saving. Of course, you're going to be saving with your post and packing as well, and you're spreading the cost. 76 stamps winging their way to you for that initial payment delivered to your door if you're a Freedom member, and that is brilliant because it just means that they're going to arrive for a very economical price there. So 405819. That's if you're wanting those 6 stamp plates together. But what about the huge deal? This is where you've got all 3 of those fabulous designers coming together, each bringing their own little essence to this mega monthly deal that we've got. So you can see Janet's work feature. We'll see all of these being used over the whole weekend. The Pasha, we saw some of those work and being worked with. Abs was working with those earlier on. So you can go back and watch all of the shows and see those. This hour we're concentrating on Tracy stamps. But what you also need to be aware of is the saving that you're getting on all of these different bundles are accumulating and coming together. So the saving of £15 on your screen isn't just a saving of £15. It's a £15 saving in addition to those other savings. So it actually equates to a £35 saving. So that's the key thing. But then it gets better. As a Freedom member, you have got even more of a saving. So although it says £32.78 on your screen, you are saving way more than that. The price on your screen there, £160 and 5 pence, is actually with a saving of £56 and 74 pence. So you can see how it all comes together. But then you have got those fabulous elements in addition. On your screen there, you'll notice 2 free stamp sets and your washi tape. I've got them here, they are amazing. You are going to get these included as well. It's a huge deal, a fabulous deal with so many different elements, and as a Freedom member, this is an amazing deal. If you've ever wondered about our why not deals, this kind of is a why not deal personified, isn't it? This is it. This is what it's all about. So overall, if you're going for this complete bundle, you're actually saving in excess of £80 when you're taking all of those savings together, if you're a Freedom member, that is, which means that £80 is more than covering the cost of Tracy's stamps that we were talking about a few moments ago. That's why it's proven to be such a popular deal. And again, you can spread that cost over 3 payments, whether you're a Freedom member or not. Because Freedom members, you are saving more than anybody else because you're saving the individual savings and your post and packing. If you're not a Freedom member already, incidentally, you can become a Freedom member as you're checking your basket out. All you need to do is tick the box and you'll see those savings appear in your post and packing disappear, and then you'll have the opportunity to spread those costs over 3 payments. The monthly mega deal on your screen there, 728596. You are getting all of these stamps. Now there's 146 stamps in total, my goodness. Oh, you're going to have such a whale of a time when you get these. But they're available individually and in different bundles, all on the website. If you jump on there, you'll see all the different elements we've been talking about. So we were talking about the individual stamp plates there, £17.99. If you want little characters, you can find those there. But do keep an eye on that basket total, because with that flexi buy option, don't forget that that basket total, that could be you're actually paying more, picking out the different elements, than that first payment if you go for everything together, because you've got your 3 flexi buys. So certainly worth thinking about. There was acrylic blocks that we saw Tracy working with. You can add those in alongside and spread the cost of those over 3 payments. And do keep an eye as you check out your order as well, because you will have some end of call of items that you can sneakily pop in. And don't forget your stencils as well. These are significant stencils that are really going to help you build up those layers as Tracy showed us just a few moments ago. Some of the items that we've got for you are pick and mixes as well, so that means that you can go into the item, have a look at the different options that you've got, choose out certain elements and pop them into your basket. And again, if you want to spread the cost of those, then you can do. For instance, here you go, we've got those wonderful border stamps, and there's loads of choice with these. You'll want to keep a note of this item number because you'll want to revisit these over and over. And all you need to do is choose any 5 of those. 5 of those, my goodness. Wow, these are gorgeous. What have we got there? Oh, I like the handprints. Mind you, I can achieve that myself. I'm a very messy crafter. But then they're always in the right place, aren't they? Print by numbers. See, the numbers would work well alongside the alphabets. And of course, the time capsule there. I've gone over my 5, haven't I? Yeah, never mind, don't worry. You can go back in and order more of those if you're wanting to. Then you just add them to your basket. Simple as that. And then you can see that they're in your basket, but they're only in your basket for about 10 minutes. And that goes for anything. If you're wanting to spread the cost, then you can do. You simply tick that box and then you check out securely. Now, these, if you're end of call items, these are brilliant because you're adding these in for no additional post and packing. So you can see there you've got all sorts of choice. I love that paint your dreams idea with a fabulous little palette in there. Just $5.99, definitely worth adding in. And again, you can spread the cost of those as well. So if you've got your flexi order going and you've got 3 payments, then anything else you're adding in, you've got 3 payments on those as well. Details on your screen there for your monthly mega deal. Don't forget, if you're not a Freedom member already, do become a Freedom member because it's definitely worth it for those savings. Tracy, we're coming back to you, waiting patiently there. Thank you very much. So what are we up to this time? Working with the same colours?
We're working with the same colours because the idea is that should you not have lots of products, the idea is that the stamps do all the work for you. So that's the whole point. And you should see the chaotic mess behind me. It looks so calm. It looks lovely and calm here, and it looks like a bomb has landed behind me. I just chuck everything on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Distress Oxides again. It doesn't matter if it's Distress Oxides or Distress Inks. You can use either. And again, I'm going to create a very simple background because my shows this time around are not about everything else, they're about the stamps. So it's the stamps that need to do all the hard work. That's what I need to showcase. So I'm just using Hickory Smoke just to add another layer of interest. And just while you're blending those inks, you just need to make sure that you've got plenty of ink on your ink blending tool or your cut and dry foam. And then I've got a bad habit, you can add this stencil with low tack tape, but my habit is just to use my hands and then lift it up and see if I'm happy, and that's absolutely fine. So that's my nice simple background, and you've still, even with just a few inks, you've achieved quite a bit of depth just on that stenciling. So I quite like that.
And of course that's just one stencil. Loads of other stencils in your stash. You can get the same technique with different results. That stencil incidentally at the bottom of your screen.
And also, if you wanted to keep the stencil in place, you could also use the little stamp on the heart stamps, and you could stamp some of the detail into the holes as well. So there's always lots of different ways that you can use them. Now, I'm a great believer in using what's around me. So I've always got these die-cut circles. I do use circles, and I do use a lot of spotlighting techniques. It's something I've done for many years, so I always enjoy doing them. So what I'm going to do this time, just a nice simple layering, and all I'm going to do is hold my circle in place, and then I'm just going to blend outwards, from the centre outwards to the outer edge of the circle. Turn my card around and start from the centre and blend outwards, just around the circle. Now, if you've got plenty of time at home, which you should have, take time to add layers of colour. Don't rush it like I'm doing. You need to add 2 or 3 layers. This is where you get the difference from a basic made card to a quality made card. It's adding the layers and making sure you take the time to add those layers. So that's just my spotlight at the moment. And hopefully we can see that in camera. Yes, we can. So what I'm going to do now is just to highlight it a little bit more, just hold my circle in place and just go around with my Inktense pencil, just to highlight that a little more. And hopefully you've got a steadier hand than I have because you're not on live TV. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to take the smaller circle. I'm just going to place it here, and I'm just going to repeat the same process. So I'll just turn it on the side just to make it easier for myself.
Okay.
But I'm always a great believer that it's about layers. It's not about just one layer. It's about adding layers to your card. So just take your time to do the process. Don't be in a rush. You know, that's just one of the disadvantages of live TV is we can't be on the TV for 15 hours. So you've sort of got to improvise, so you can't take as long. So we've just got our 2 spotlights. And what I'm going to do is just blend out that Inktense pencil before we do some stamping. So just take that, just blend it. And what you have to remember is you've got the Distress Oxide inks below. So you are going to activate the Distress Oxide inks. That's just natural, and that doesn't matter. It just softens the whole edge of the card. So don't worry too much about the fact that you've got Distress Oxides there. It's just so that you can blend out some of that shading. And I'm not being careful just because I'm trying to be a little bit quicker. So I'm not being as careful as I would normally. So just go around and blend just so that you can highlight that circle a little bit more. Do the same on your second circle, and then we'll get round to some stamping.
Fabulous. Just to give you a bit of a time check, Tracy, we've probably got about 4.5 minutes or so left.
Do you know, I just do not know where the time goes. I always say to myself, oh, I haven't done enough, I need to do more, I need to get more in, I need to add more layers, and then the time just vanishes.
Wow.
I just can't believe it. It just disappears. So what I'm going to do now is just grab my aperture. So I've got my aperture here, just so that I can add some stamped image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the handsome pheasant. I'm going to try and make myself some room on the desk, which is almost impossible. And I'm just going to add the pheasant here. And I'm going to stamp in grey, because we always stamp in black. So sometimes it's nice to change it up and stamp in grey. So I'm using Morning Mist VersaFine Clair just to add the stamped pheasant inside. And I'm just taking my time to add a layer of ink. Just aware of time, so just at least get some of the stamping done. If I don't finish, I can always show in the morning. So just add this stamp image here, and I'm just going to add the pheasant again, just like so.
You're just taking it straight from the carrier sheet, they're amazing.
Yeah, straight from the carrier sheet, mainly because you've got that aperture, you've got a little bit of a lip, and because you've got a little bit of a lip, it's easier if you don't use the acrylic block, because you can press here where the lip of the aperture is. So it means then that you've got your pheasants inside there. What I'm going to do now is use the P. Can I have a P bob? I can hear all my friends on Facebook saying can I have a P bob now? That's
oh, do you remember those days?
Yes, I do. I'm showing my age now. So what I'm going to do is take the P, and I'm going to stamp in the grey. And I don't have to add an aperture because this fits nicely inside. So I'm going to add that P to the inside of the second circle. And then, where have I just dumped the stamp set? I need to get out of the habit of just dumping my stamp sets, then I can't find them. Then we've got the little hat that's in the stamp set. So just grab a piece of card.
Okay.
How am I doing for time, Hayley?
Time-wise, I think we've got a couple of minutes, a minute and a half, but we're going to stay with you, don't worry.
Okay. She says frantically. So I'm just adding green and grey to my hat, just to add the hat. And I didn't have a hat cut out, so...
That is a dapper hat. Now, just as
we have to have a dapper beard.
Definitely. Now, just as Tracy's adding the details, we are going to stay with Tracy, but I just need to reiterate that the details for that huge deal that we've been chatting about are on the screen, and that's going to include all the stamps that Tracy's been working with. Of course, you can go for Tracy's complete collection if you're wanting to, but the saving that you're going to make from that is brought forward to the complete collection as well, so you're not going to miss out on any savings going with the details that you've got on your screen. Oh, that little hat looks perfect.
So just going to add that little hat there. You just keep reminding me when I'm running out of time.
Well, we're coming down to the last half a minute now, Tracy, so we're going to have to say our goodbyes soon. We might not be able to see your lovely face, though, because of changing the cameras round. We'd rather see what you're demonstrating.
I will just carry on then as you talk, Hayley.
No problem.
So I'm just going to add the pheasants at the bottom. Did you say it's half a minute?
Yeah, it's about 20 seconds now, unfortunately. This looks amazing.
Add them pheasants at the bottom.
And you're back with us in the morning, Tracy?
8 o'clock in the morning.
Wonderful. We'll see more from you then, Tracy. Thank you so much. And don't forget, do join Tracy tomorrow, and you'll be able to see more from her demos then as well. If you're still watching Tracy, thank you. Sorry I didn't get to say a proper goodbye, but I'm going to be up after the break with the lovely Julia Watson Fairy Hugs. And then, of course, we're going to be revisiting this hour again after that.
Did you know you can watch Hochanda 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free using our app on Roku? Just like your smartphone accesses an app store to add new applications, your Roku streaming player or Roku TV accesses the Roku channel store to add new channels. By downloading the Hochanda channel, you'll be able to access your favourite craft channel on your TV anytime you want to watch. Here's how to do it. Turn on your TV and connect your Roku device. Next, turn the power on and press the home button on your Roku remote. Scroll up or down to select Settings. Select your network and select Setup Connection. Roku uses a wireless connection, so select your router name and add your password. This should be on the side or the bottom of your router. If this is the first time using Roku, then you'll need to set up an account on the device or by going to the Roku website. That's it. Now it's time to add the Hochanda app. Simply press the home button on the Roku remote. Scroll up or down using the arrows on your remote to select streaming channels. Then open the channel store. At the top of the channel store, you'll find a list of featured, new and popular categories to explore. Enter Hochanda into the search bar and this will take you to the Hochanda app. Now simply select Add Channel. When you see the added channel screen, press OK and return to the home page. Now scroll down to the Hochanda app and press the star button on your remote. You can then use the arrow buttons to move Hochanda to the top of the screen for quick and easy access. And that's it. You can now watch, purchase and catch up with your favourite shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on your TV whenever you feel crafty.
Hello, I'm Hayley, and you might have seen me presenting here at Hochanda. Well, I've always been an avid crafter behind the scenes and have been given the opportunity to share some of my favourite products with you in a monthly show called Handmade by Hayley. So I hope you'll join me, let me inspire you, and maybe you will discover a new craft in the process.
Hello, I'm Carol.
And I'm Hayley.
And together we are the Dreamies.
Dreamies have been around for 11 years now. We started with CD-ROMs, we've developed into stamps, paper pads, dies, we've now got the Dinky Inkies range as well, so we've got so much to bring to you at Hochanda.
We design everything in-house and we manufacture in the UK. We produce tutorials to inspire you to get the most from our products.
On the Dreamies shows, we hope to further inspire you with all the techniques and tips that we can offer, hopefully getting you to use all of your inks, your flower making techniques, and really build on all the skills you probably already have. Make sure you join us for the Dreamies shows on Hochanda.
Exciting news! For the 5th year in a row, Hochanda has been awarded the top accolade of Platinum Trusted Service Award from Feefo. These awards recognise businesses that deliver exceptional experiences as rated by you, our customers, and we're honoured to have been selected. The Trusted Service Award means you can shop with confidence, based on the reviews from over 60,000 Hochanda customer experiences. Thank you for your independent reviews. It means a lot to us.
Hi, I'm Bev. Hi, I'm Sam, and we are from Be Crafty. Be Crafty is a family-run company. Sam is my sister, and we love bringing brand new products to Hochanda. We manufacture and design all our own ranges of stamps, inkables, MDF, lots and lots of inspiration that we love to bring and share with you.
If you tune in to Hochanda to join us, you'll see that mine and Bev's style are totally different. But what that does is it brings you lots of styles and techniques that you can include in your crafting too.
Our ranges are increasing all the time with the lovely hand-drawn images that Sam and myself are trying to bring to you, plus the fantastic new designs that we like to bring in the inkables, in the dinkables and the MDF as well. So you can use them across all different sorts of crafts and bring the best we can to Hochanda too. So make sure you don't miss the Be Crafty shows on Hochanda.
Hello there, hello, and welcome back, because of course we are here live through till 10 o'clock here at Hochanda, so it's a good day, because we've been live since 7 o'clock this morning. It's a long day, but it's a good day, and it's even better in this hour because we've got fabulous Julia Watts. There was a helicopter out the front waiting to pick her up after the show earlier on, and he's whisked her back home. So by the powers of Skype, we've got Julia joining us this hour. How you doing?
I wish. Wouldn't that be good if I could have a helicopter? I'd get home so quick.
Well, you deserve one. You deserve one. I'll put it in the minutes. We'll see what we can do. Now, we were working together earlier on with this fabulous brand, Fairy Hugs. I mean, we had a busy hour. Everybody's loving the artwork that they bring to us. Beautiful stamps.
Yeah. I think Fairy Hugs are going from strength to strength. If you didn't watch the earlier show and if you've not come across Fairy Hugs before, they are a small American company. It's a husband and wife team, and the brand came about because their children love everything mystical and magical. And that's what we've got on the counter. Lots of mystical and magical stamps and images for you to use on your projects.
We have, and they're really clever in their designs, because their designs work so well that whether you've already got stamps from their range or you buy stamps in the future, they will work alongside what we've got on the show during this hour as well. So a lot of thought goes into the way that they put these stamps together.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the bundle that you're showing there with the Kissing Fairy and the Starburst, they work hand in hand together, but you can see lots of other stamps there from other items on the counter. We've got the ivy leaf, we've got the little frog, we've got the tree stump, we've got the papers, we've got the pedestal. That's Malia there that you've got. There's lots and lots to choose from.
There certainly is, and we're going to be taking everybody through everything. And we had a very busy hour, the last hour that I was working with Julia. It's 5 o'clock this afternoon, so if you want to go back and watch on Rewind, you can do. One of the items that literally you were buying is the details on the screen. Now, this is a really good bundle. It's only £11.99. 80% of the stock has gone, but you've got two incredibly useful stamps. You've got a fabulous little kind of kissing fairy, as she's being entitled, but she's blowing, well, it could be kisses, it could be that she's holding a little heart, a little flower, a little frog in her hand, could be holding anything. But on this occasion, you've got that fabulous swirl of stars, because the idea is that the Stardust stamp originally works alongside this, but I know, and you saw from those finished samples, there are so many different ways you can be working with this one. 80% of the stock has gone. Now, there's one thing I've not mentioned, extended delivery. As Julia said, it's an American company, so it's the 3rd of March, so that's with regards to your dispatch. But these these are stamps that we've seen previously. We've not got them on the show. They may well be on the website, but you can see that fabulous little spiral in the background there, which I think is fabulous. You can use it in so many different ways. You'll see it appearing during the course of the hour. Here you can see again she's blowing that little kiss to the frog. Is he going to turn into a prince, or was he a prince to start with? You don't know, do you really? And then, of course, just using it alongside things like your die cuts, you can use it beautifully. Or maybe, just maybe, she's blowing bubbles. Absolutely beautiful. 584722. Again, it's proven to be a very popular stamp combination. Lots of you adding that in. Now, very quickly, before we move on, those papers, did you see those appearing? Well, here you go. The details are going to come up on your screen. Julia, these were popular during the last hour. Such a clever combination. And you're getting 3 repeats of each of these 8 pieces.
Yes, that's right. So there's 7 verticals and 1 horizontal design. And so they're like, you know, like little hills, and there's always a moon on there, and you've got lovely sky, lots of different colourways. But they're actually 8.5 inches by 3.5 inches wide, and they're your starting point. You can make a really effective, quick card using some of the stamps on the show. You don't have to have lots of stamps. And one of those papers. They're not really papers, they're like card.
They're a really good weight. I mean, we were talking about this in the last time. We reckon they're at least 200 GSM, and as Judy quite rightly said, she actually used this one with the Kissing Fairy in her demonstration at 5 o'clock. So you've got your horizontal, but then you have got all these 7 others, and they're beautiful because you've almost got those gorgeous mystical landscapes built up with, of course, the spotlight area of the moon featuring with all of these in loads of different colourways. So depending on whether you're looking at creating something that might be a nighttime effect or a daytime or a dawn, dusk, it doesn't matter. You have got all of these different combinations. And Julia did mention at 5 o'clock that if you want to, you can actually trim these down, so you don't have to have them as these kind of skinny DL sized cards. If you don't want them to be, they could be trimmed down so they're a little over 7 inches, quite easily, but absolutely beautiful. And they were so popular, and they're popular again. Just £12.99, 050851 if you are wanting those. You need to pop those into any basket you're creating. You need to add those in because they work so well. I'm sorry, Katie, what was the update on that one? 60% of the stock, and we had good stock of those because they're popular, beautiful. Loving those ones. Now, what have we got for you? Now, this one is a brilliant one. This one, again, set of 3, but you kind of got a couple of different combinations with regards to this one, so I'll explain this one to you. You've got all 3 coming together with the deal on your screen, and you've got obviously your larger fairy, which has kind of got that leaning pose, which I think is really clever because she could be leaning on anything. I mean, you can just about see with the finished card that we've got down at the bottom. If I lift it up just slightly, you'll be able to see she's leaning and having a proper little conversation with the little gnome there, which I think is brilliant. And we've got the gnomes coming up in a little while. But then the card alongside her, she's leaning against the little pedestal which is featuring in this set. Now that pedestal appears over and over again within the finished samples, and the lovely pedestal has been created almost like a pillar of stones, as you can see. That stone aspect that you've got, you'll see as a waterfall later on as well. And this is what I mean about the way that these designs are all brought together to work so beautifully together. So let's show you some of the finished samples with these ones. Absolutely amazing. Now, half the stock has gone. With this particular one, Freedom members, you have got a discounted price. So take advantage of this one at £17.98. And you can see the fairy will appear over and over, and all of these other aspects that you're seeing here, you will be able to get hold of as well. Julia, this is a lovely little pose. I mean, you can use her in so many different ways.
Yes, yes. So that's why we brought her back, because she has been seen before, but we brought her back because, yes, she can use with so many different items, and she can be talking to, as you saw, the frog. She can be talking to the frog or the little hedgehogs.
Yes, yeah.
Any little animals. I mean, we've got quite a few little stamps on this show because they work in proportion so well. You know, like you say, she'd have a conversation with one of the gnomes. There, those little tiny fairies are one of the fairy condo dwellers that we've had on before recently.
I love these little fairy houses.
Well, yeah, those are little toadstools. Yeah, yeah. So in fact, Azalea can sit on the toadstool. That's Moana, who's another one of the fairies, and she's sitting on the pedestal there.
Beautiful.
Lots of these have been seen before.
See that again? It's such a clever idea.
Yeah. Leaning on the swing. The swing's coming up in the next month, the middle of the month. You'll be able to buy that then.
Wonderful. Look forward to seeing that one. So there you go. That little trio is a brilliant value bundle. And now I mentioned there were a couple of ways for you to get hold of this. So as a trio, that's where you can get that Freedom Members discount, and that's where most of you have been going for them. So you're going to get all three of those, the larger stamp and then the two smaller ones. But if you're wanting to go for the two smaller Azalea alongside the stone pedestal, they are available as a bundle together. So if you want to know, they're at the bottom of your screen, £9.99, but it's definitely worth going for the bundle together, especially if you're a Freedom member, because for around £8 more, you can see you are going to get that very large stamp with the beautiful, is it Melia? I don't know how you pronounce it, Melia. You say tomato. You say tomato, I say tomato. I don't know. But Melia.
It's probably different in America.
This is true, but they've got beautiful names. 882141, that is the deal for everything. But if you do want to go for kind of cherry picking certain elements, then obviously the details at the bottom for that fabulous fairy stamp by itself, and of course the little combination of the twos on the website. So have a little shop around, but keep an eye on that total of that basket, because it's definitely a saving worth having. Now I mentioned the waterfall. Now that is the next set that we're going to be sharing with you, and you'll recognise that you've kind of got that stone effect that we saw from the pedestal just a few moments ago. It really is a beautiful little stamp, and I love the way that they've kind of captured the essence of moving water with this one. I mean, Julia, that's really difficult to do, but they've done it.
Yes, it's very clever, and for people like me who cannot draw, it's really lovely to have something that has movement in it, because and then all you need to do is add, you know, once it's coloured in, perhaps add a white pen or a little bit of glitter like there is on that one, and it really does. It just you know what it is, don't you?
Yeah, it's very, very clever. Now over 60% of the stock has gone. I mean, that's a beautiful one there where you've got quite vibrant colours coming through, but this one much more muted tones, but still you've got that essence of the freedom of that flowing water.
Absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I mean, the design team are just tremendous. I mean, look at that one.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, the design team always come up trumps with their samples. They are absolutely outstanding. So thank you very much, ladies.
Yes, definitely. And at $14.99, brilliant value for money, because you're not only getting the waterfall, but you're also getting elements like the crane featuring there. I love that idea.
Yeah, I think that's one of Elizabeth's Craft Designs.
I was just about to say, I recognise that, and I recognise the page. Yeah. And again, down here, like little mini photos made out of the additional stamps we've got on the shows as well. So very, very clever.
Tremendous. Yeah.
I love it. Details on your screen. This is a trio again. So your larger stamp is the waterfall that we've just looked at. Then you've got the little crane, and then that fabulous little frog. And don't forget, the little frog could be your fairy friend when you're having a little conversation. The scene, it's kind of just whatever you want that scene to be. I mean, I love the design that we've got down at the front with the waterfall there. And you've kind of got a couple of those little frogs sitting on the log there. Absolutely adorable. Over 60% of the stock has gone of this set of 3 stamps. So if you do want to get hold of them, it's proven to be more and more popular as the hour progresses. So 376212, do pop that one into your basket. And of course, bear in mind, it's going to work with many other things that you've got in your stash and things that you'll collect in the future. Now, we're going all mystical with the next one, and this one is where we've got that lovely happy moon, and you've got your little fireflies. These are adorable. Absolutely beautiful. Now this time we've got Takara Fairy alongside, and this is another one with a clever design, because she's kind of she's kneeling there with her hands up, but what is she holding? What is she releasing? It's entirely up to you. That's where you get involved with your different stamps. And I love this one, because on this finished sample that we've got just below her, you can see it's almost like she's released the little fireflies. Lovely little set, this one, Julia.
Yeah, we used this one in the previous hour, and she was letting the fireflies go, but they're really running around there. She looks like she's is it called chucking, when you grab somebody underneath the chin and
oh, I don't know.
You know, that kind of thing
in Birmingham, it's when you get hold of them and throw them.
You know, but it does look like she's kind of tickling the little frog.
I know what you mean,
chin,
yeah.
doesn't it?
This one, it does look as if she's actually chucking this one, but she's not. I think she's catching. I think she's catching this little one.
That's little Flamo. That's the little baby fairy the stamp is actually designed to go with. We haven't bought into you yet. We'll have to see if we can fix that.
But it's nice that we've seen these because you can see it, like you say, how it's going to work with other elements. But okay, it might not be able to bring you the little lad, or the little boy fairy, should I say. But what about this one? Because again, it looks like she's very much giving it a visual conversation and using her hands to have a conversation with the little frog there. Again, the pedestal, the dancing toadstools, they're all on the show as well. And again, that paper, that backdrop, I mean, it makes life so much easier, doesn't it, with those backdrops?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. Especially when you first get them, you might be a bit daunted when you first get them. Think, what on earth am I going to do? Where if you just pick up one of those backgrounds, you're off straight away. That's clever. Really clever, that one.
Very, very busy with regards to this one. And don't forget, we've been talking about the fairy and the little fireflies, but don't forget you have got your happy moon with this one as well. And it's a lovely way of making your actual envelopes to work alongside. Just to let you know, over 60% of this combination has gone. So if you want to get so affordable at $17.99, so do make sure you're adding that one into your basket as well. It is an adorable little set, 094196, if you want to add those in. Now, can I introduce you to Oliver? Oliver is an owl, and he has a fabulous little combination of stamps around him. So you've got your main owl, as you can see, good size stamp with this one, but then you've got the addition of those locks that we saw a few moments ago, and a fabulous ivy kind of corner, but don't think of it just as a corner, because you will have noticed it on many of those finished samples that we've been looking at, and you'll be able to use it in many, many more, in loads of different ways. Nice little set, this one again, Julia, and it's one that we saw you using in your demonstrations.
Yes, I love Oliver. I mean, owls are just wonderful creatures anyway. And don't forget, the logs can be used on the side like you've got on that sample there, but you can actually have it standing up and have Oliver sitting on the top of it.
You can
have the gnomes running around it. You can have, like that wonderful sample there, you can have them making a frame. You see all three stamps there on that sample.
Very, very clever.
Very clever.
And again, there, well, using Oliver there alongside the moon tree that we'll see in just a few moments.
Yeah. Tremendous. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And again, Oliver, it's not just to be used on those elements that we've just been looking. Obviously, you've got your tree stump as well, so you could be using him on there, or you could use him on the branch there. And again, if you notice the backdrop, that fabulous little starry swirl making an appearance again. So, yeah, a really nice little set, this one again. And he lends himself so well to those gorgeous papers we were looking at earlier on as well. So if you fancy getting hold of this particular one, £20.99, it will get you all three of these good size stamps and very usable as well. So 500992 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Now, the fabulous tree that we were just looking at, this is a big stamp, and we've got this one in the next bundle for you. So here, it's a clever way that this tree has been put together with that little kind of aperture in amongst the branches. It's almost like the tree is wrapping its arms around, well, whatever you choose to put in there. Really clever idea, this one, Julia.
Yeah, so the moon tree was designed to have the smaller of the two full moons sitting inside it. But as you correctly said, you could pop a frog in there, you could prop a little hedgehog in there, you can actually fit this part of the swirl, the stardust, or starburst in there. You could have a firefly in there. You could do whatever you want to. And don't forget that you've probably seen on some of the samples that just the branches have been used as like a scrubby landscape as well.
Yeah. Or as a canopy.
There's the stars on that one. You can see the stars.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course, sitting in there as well. Yeah. Yeah. Very clever. Another one here is actually teaming up with some of the other elements. You can see that the owl in flight there has been used alongside, and of course that swirly star swirl that we saw as well. So it really does build up that design, doesn't it, that tree? It's a really nice tree, that
and
one.
And the little tiny frog on the little dancing mushrooms, and then you've got the gnome as well, Haro. So you've got a lot going on with that one.
Yeah, but it's bringing everything together. This is the thing. And the beauty is, because of the sizing of the different stamps, they do come together so well. Now, what was the update on this one? 2/3 of the stock has gone. My goodness, we have been busy for these. £21.99, 105-829 if you're wanting to get hold of this one. Again, adding these items into your basket. Take advantage of flexi order with these as well. If you want to add in maybe with 3 of the sets, you'll find that your basket will come to £60 or more, which means that you can spread the cost over 2 payments. But I love those full moons there as well. You can get some lovely effects. Imagine using your mica powders with those. Amazing. Now, next set that we've got for you. This one is a trio again, and you got a little insight into these just a few moments ago, because you've got your fabulous little characters with these. Those little hedgehogs, they're so adorable. You've also got the tree stump, which we've seen making an appearance on more than one occasion, and the dancing toadstools as well. I mean, the tree stump, this is a useful stamp to have, Julia.
Yeah, so we've seen lots of things sitting on that, haven't we? We've seen that Oliver's sitting on it. We've seen one of the gnomes sitting on it. You can lean one of the logs onto it, so it looks like the tree's been felled. Malia can lean on it. Azalea can sit on it. You know, there's so much that you can do with that stamp.
And I love this because it's almost like a calling of the wild, where she's brought all the little hedgehogs together for a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe a morning meeting as to what's going to be going on in the forest. That ivy at the top there looks amazing as well.
Yeah. Excellent stamp, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
and then
that's the one that you've just shown.
That's
isn't
it, with the dancing toadstools. Again, the hedgehogs coming together. As you can see, a little family of hedgehogs. This one as well, I love this one. It's like hedgehog gymnastics going on here. Love it. And again, still using the essence of other stamp sets, as you can see here as well. £14.99, a very affordable little set, and rapidly approaching 60% of the stock has gone. So yes, if you like the look of that one, certainly do be adding that one into your basket as well. 088698. Then finally, the last set that I need to share with you before we head over to demo with Julia is this little set, and this is fabulous. These have got a little sense of humour around them. You've got your little gnomes, as you can see, and they're in a variety of different poses. So they work really well with the stamps that we've been chatting about, especially the one with his little wheelbarrow, because keep an eye on the finished samples. There's loads of different ways you could be using this one. He's got all sorts of things in that little wheelbarrow, and you have to keep an eye on him. £10.99, very affordable again, Julia.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I mean, I love the gnomes. They've got, like you say, they've got such character. We have got they can stand on, like, there's a stone wall that we've got in the actual collection. They can stand on there. Obviously, they're going to work with all of the background pieces that you've got. They're going to work with the tree stumps, the logs. They're going to just work with absolutely everything.
They do,
and they're proportioned properly.
That's it. And you were talking about them giving the illusion that the tree's been felled. So there you go. You can see how that's been done. You see this little one over here is doing a bit of tidying up over there.
Yeah.
I love it. And this one, he's about to start spreading sparkles everywhere. So there you go. In his wheelbarrow this time, they've got that little bit of sparkle going on at the moment. And I think this one, he's got a bit of a hankering to be a bit of a nanny, because he's got a little pushchair there, and he's taking the little hedgehog for a little bit of a trip there. You're going to have loads of fun with these. You can build up your own stories, and you can go quite moody, as you can see there, keeping it quite monochromatic. Introduce a lot of colour, maybe those fabulous little fairies, or maybe those little fireflies you could use if you don't have the mini fairy stamp. But again, everything coming together, including using that tree. I think this is a clever use of that tree, because the tree, of course, you kind of got that spread of the tree, which means you can have it coming in from the left and have it coming in from the right as well, without it looking out of place. So yeah, £10.99, very affordable, this one. Sorry, Katie, what was the update? Rapidly approaching half the stock has gone. Cute little characters, as you can see there, all coming to you for just £10.99. Now, let Julia get herself ready for her demo, because she just needs to alter her camera. But in the meantime, let me show you some of the other goodies that we've got for you. Pretty much everything's on the website, so have a little look. You'll be able to have a closer look at those stamps. And as I say, you can have a little look, because there are different ways of getting hold of them. Most times when you're going for them as a combination, you'll have a cheeky little discount with them. But if you do just want to shop individually, you can do. If you want to check out what other like-minded crafters think of them, then do have a little look at those reviews, as you can see on there. And of course, don't forget those slimline cardstock pieces. They are perfect for you to work with those silhouettes that we've been sharing with you. Now, if you are wanting that first bundle that we were chatting about, over 70% of the stock has gone. Oh, is it this one? Oh, wow, yes. I'm not surprised. I mean, that waterfall, so easily extended if you're wanting to turn it into a larger piece. But yeah, nice little one, that nice little set, and I love the little frog. So yeah, if you fancy that one, 376 something 2. it was little 37621. I nearly got it right. My eyesight wasn't that good. 14.99. Of course, we will revisit those as the hour progresses, and we're going to be changing those details as Julia demonstrates. Talking of which, Julia, what have you got planned for us this hour?
Right, well, of course, we're going to use one of those wonderful scenes.
Lovely.
I was toying with the idea when I got home. I thought, what shall I do? What shall I do? Because I changed my mind completely, as you do. So I think it'd be rude not to use these, because I know that some people might not have watched earlier on. So I'm going to pop one of these into my stamping platform. And they're just about fit in that big Stamp Perfect platform, because they're 8.5 inches. And what we're going to do is, because everything's on got acetate sheets with it, so we can plan a little layout which we can actually put together quite quickly. So I'm thinking that we'll grab the pedestal, and I think we'll pop the pedestal down here, right? So we can see on the acetate where it's going to go, and we're going to have Melia leaning on it there, and she'll just about fit in the width of this, which is quite nice because she's quite a big stamp.
Julia, could I ask a favour of you? Could you possibly move your stamp platform just a little bit further, maybe another couple of inches? Because we're just chopping off the bottom of it. Yeah, that's it, just a little bit further.
Hang on a sec, let me just clear the deck.
Oh, bless you.
That's me tidying up.
It's all right, because we just lost a little bit of your design at the bottom of the screen, that was all. I want to see what you're doing.
It's such a big thing.
Yeah, it's perfect. Absolutely spot on, thank you.
Right, okay. So she'll just about fit there like that. So we get the pedestal nicely stamped, first of all. This will be really quick. We're not going to colour in. There are areas that you can colour in, and you can obviously add glitter to your fairy wings and really kind of doll her up quite a bit if you want to. We can see that we've got this going down like that, so we can pop the pedestal so it's not quite at the bottom, but it's just sitting like that.
The design team have been so inventive with this little stamp.
Yes. They are so clever, and I don't see the finished samples until I come into the studio, so it's a really nice surprise when I come in and I see them. Right, so we're using Nocturne Versifying Clair, and we're just gonna, which is the black one, and we're just gonna stamp this first of all. Give the ink a chance to actually sink in.
Yeah, Tracy Evans was mentioning that earlier on, saying about don't be in too much of a rush. Like you say, let the ink grab hold of that card.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can dust with an anti-static bag, and you can heat emboss. They will take heat emboss in, as you've seen from the design team pieces. So there's my pedestal sat there. Let's see if I can not get too mucky when I take the stamp off here. Right, and then we'll grab Melia.
She's a good size stamp, this particular one.
She is a really good size stamp. Shall I measure her for you?
Oh, go on then, since you got your measuring device there.
Well, yeah, I've got my ruler actually. So from her kind of, I don't know what they're called, these bits.
Are they still antennae?
They might, yes, they are, aren't they?
Because I'm just thinking like with a butterfly, yeah.
Yeah, she's like a butterfly, isn't she, with her wing? She's really beautiful. So she's just over 3.5 inches wide, and she is about just over 3 3/4 inches in height.
That's a good size, yeah.
So she's a really, really good size. So we want to have her so that she's leaning on there like that. And she'll just overlap a wee bit, which is fine. And we'll stamp her on top.
Lovely.
And we're still sticking with our black. If I can take the lid off. It's a lot easier to do this in the studio, I must admit.
Oh, bless you. No, but it's late as well, so yeah, it means you're getting home much later than you're there now.
Oh,
aren't
I know,
you?
I can
Have
be
you
in
had your
bed by
dinner? What have you had
10:15.
nice for your dinner?
I had a sandwich on the way home.
It's a glamorous world we live in, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Now, she's a very solid stamp, so I will probably need to stamp her twice.
Okay.
Just along her body. But give a good old press. She looks absolutely... So I know some of the design team have kind of coloured the sections in, just like you would a butterfly, in different colours, and she's just stunning, absolutely stunning. She looked really lovely with a sparkling embossing powder too, I think.
Yes,
So she's a little bit patchy. So I'm just going to do her again. Obviously it's not moved because my magnets have kept her in the right place.
Beautiful.
Give her a good old press. And if you're going to put glitter on, either heat set it or wait for it to dry, or actually do some embossing. Yeah, she's still a little bit patchy, but I'm going to leave her at that because all I'm going to do, because it's an oil-based ink, all I'm going to do at the moment is move the ink around.
Okay.
So you can see that she's actually just sitting just there. She's just perching on there, which is exactly what I wanted. Now you could make this like a water pedestal, or there's been a fire pit done by one of the design team. So lots and lots and lots. So she's now going to be chatting to, she could be chatting to a hedgehog, but she's going to be chatting to our little mini frog because he's absolutely the perfect size.
There he
and we can
goes.
pop him just there. And I'm going to do him because actually, let's get rid of the stamp first. That will be in the way first. Off you come, lady. We're going to do him in Shady Lane, which is a green.
Okay. And that's kind of nice.
Well, he's a toad, isn't he?
Well, it's a kind of like an injection of colour then, because you've got very much the silhouette, and then it's like really makes him the focal point with that colour change.
Where's my Shady Lane? There it is. Shady Lane's a lovely green. Again, it's VersaFine Clair. And we tend to use VersaFine Clair with, well, people tend to use VersaFine Clair anyway now because it gives you such good detail. But with silhouette style stamps, because it's very, very juicy.
Okay.
And that's why we tend to use it. Okay. So there we go. There's my frog sitting on there. Still building the scene up. We're going to go up to the top. And because this, am I in shot?
No, that's
properly?
perfect for the moon. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to use the happy moon. I mean, we could put fireflies going up. We could have the little owl coming in.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots and lots on the show that you can use. But we're going to use the happy moon on this one. I'm going to have such a mess to tidy up later.
Oh, bless you.
So he's very, very happy, this moon. I'm going to go back to our black.
Beautiful.
I mean, that card that's all in the metallics on the black is
Isn't
absolutely
it
beautiful.
effective? Yeah.
It's so effective, and it's just using the one stamp, and it's got the starburst on it, hasn't it, as well, I think.
Yeah. And it's nice as well, because I think that would be a lovely one on home decor pieces as well.
Yes, yes, it would, absolutely. And mixed media as well.
Yeah, good point, yeah.
Okay, let's give that a good old press.
It's got a very contented little face, that moon.
Very contented little face. So fetch all these off now.
And it's nice because you've almost got those little tiny stars with him. So if you've got the swirl that we were talking about earlier on, it's almost like an echo of that.
Yeah, so all I would do is when it's all dry, I'd add some glitter to her wings and colour in the pedestal and just mat it onto some black card and then onto a white card. And then, is that good for you?
That is fabulous.
Yeah?
Beautiful. Thank you, Julia.
So that's how simple it is to make a card with your cards that you've got on there and some of the stamps.
I love it. Julia, thank you so much. We can let you get ready for your next demonstration. Now, I've got a card now. It's not the same as the one that Julia is working with, but it shows you that similar sort of context that Julia is working with, building up the scene, but giving you a different look. So again, you've got the same fairy, but she's leaning on the little tree trunk, talking to the hedgehog. So it's the same kind of idea where she's having a little conversation, but of course the different elements have been swapped out to show you that you have got a whole host of different ways that you could be working with this one. It's a popular bundle. You're getting 3 stamps, and as a Freedom member, the price is coming right the way down to £17.98. So I do urge you to consider adding this one into your basket. Got a little bit of sparkle going on with that one, a little bit of heat embossing. But what about if you just want to do a little bit of colour work? Then you can do that. And I like this one because she's actually stamped out in a blue, more so than actually using the silhouette, and you get a different look. But I love the addition of the colour, as you can see there, in her wings as well. And again, going back to the black silhouette there, if you've got a fabulous backdrop, then that is just the perfect way for you to work with. 882141, if you're wanting to get hold of that set of 3, then please do so. Brilliant saving there, especially if you're a Freedom member. So yeah, we'll go and have a little look at that one in just a few moments. But we started back at the beginning. Such a very good place to start. And with this one, you have got your 2 stamps with your little kissing fairy there and your stardust. It's a popular one, this one. And again, you can see different elements that Julia's been referring to appearing again within this one. Now, Julia did create a lovely finish sample with this one earlier on. I think she's taken it. Has she taken it with her? I don't know. I can't see it here. She liked it that much, she kept it. Yeah, it was a lovely design. So do go back and watch the 5 o'clock show. She was actually using it alongside those wonderful papers that we've been chatting about. And this particular one, over 80% of the stock has gone. And I love it, that stardust that you've got there, the swirl. It's like magic happening before you you see, if you can see what I mean there. You've got that gorgeous, where she's blowing the little kiss there to the frog. And you almost imagine that the next part of the story is where he turns into a handsome prince. If only that really happened. 584722. I don't want to burst your bubble. You've got to kiss that Laura frogs, haven't you, before you find your prince. But there you go. Details on your screen if you're wanting to get hold of that particular set. Then they both come together there. Absolutely beautiful. The cardstock we've got on the screen now. Oh, in fact, sorry, that's me chopping and changing around. Our lovely Katie trying to keep up with me. The papers that we've been chatting about that Julia worked with, again, these are definitely a must-have. You need to be adding these into your basket. Julia was working with them in the last demonstration. She used them when she was here at 5 o'clock as well. You've got one where you've got that landscape look, which is beautiful. And then the others are more portrait. So you can see there you've kind of got your grounding element, then you've got your layers going through to that fabulous moon at the top there. With these, you've got different colours with them, which is brilliant because, of course, you might want a moody nighttime sky. You might want a red sky at night. It could be a red sky in the morning. It could be dawn, dusk. It's entirely up to you. You've got all of those different scenarios. And you've got 3 repeats of each of these. So you've got 24 in total. Absolutely gorgeous. And at £12.99, I think you'll agree that that is brilliant value for money. Many of you have been taking advantage of these. We're calling it cardstock because it's at least 200 GSM, and it's just £12.99. If you want to go for multiples, you can do. And these, we're calling them slimline. They're pretty much like a DL size card, which I think is about 1/3 of the width, or the length, should I say, of an A4 sheet. So you're just trimming them down slightly, but absolutely beautiful and perfect sizes to work with those wonderful stamps that we've been chatting about. 050851. If you fancy getting hold of those, you're going to be very good company. Lots of people have been adding those into your baskets. So another very popular set. This is the one that we saw Julia working with. And if you're wanting to get hold of this one, Freedom members, you've got a discounted price. They are available as 2 kind of little bundles. So you've got your little fairy, your little thinking fairy, as I called her early on, because she just looked like she's having a little think about something, and the pedestal. Those are available by themselves as a little set together. But if you're going for all 3 together, as a Freedom member, you have got a discounted price, which is brilliant because you'd be paying £9.99 for the larger fairy by herself. So it makes sense for you to actually go for these as a bundle, especially if you're a Freedom member, because for that extra little payment, then you are going to be able to get hold of all 3 of these, and they work so well together. £17.98 being the price for all 3, but you need to be a Freedom member to get that additional saving, which of course you can become as you're checking out your basket. 60% of the stock has gone. A very usable set. 882141 if you're wanting to get hold of that particular set. So what else can I share with you? Another very popular set for you, and this is lovely. You're going to love this one because it's the waterfall, and it's got that lovely kind of flowing movement of you've got with the water. I don't know how you're going to manage to capture it within a stamp, but they've managed to do it beautifully. So you've got your centre stamp there, which you can see is your waterfall, and it's kind of got that cobblestone effect, which is such a clever one because you can kind of support this with, there is a stencil from Fairy Hugs, which means you can extend this design. You may already have a stencil of a similar sort of style, or you may fancy having a little bit of a doodle and adding in your own cobbles around the edge there. But then you've got the look. Now the look could be a waterfall created kind of with watercolour paints maybe, to give you this kind of magical little look, I think, with this one. The crane, obviously, that comes alongside this one, and a little bit of sparkle there, just accenting the kind of the flowing of the water. I think this one captures it beautifully though, isn't it? Very, very clever. And you can see the little frog appearing here as well, which of course you're going to get within this set. Absolutely beautiful. And I love this idea. It's kind of like stepping away from that mystical and that magical with this one here, which I think is such a clever idea, where you've got your photo frames there from your Elizabeth Crafts die cut set. Really clever. And then the little mini photos at the bottom there. Adorable. £14.99. Over 70% of the stock has gone. I think Julia's demonstration is just showing you how fabulous these fabulous stamps are. And the little toad there, or frog, very, very useful one to have. At 376212 if you fancy getting hold of that particular one. Pop those goodies into your basket, but more importantly, check those baskets out. I think it's time to go back and see what our Julia is up to. So what have you got planned for us next, Julia?
I've just, I did bring my samples home.
There you go.
Just so they didn't get, because the thing is, the design team have worked so hard. I think they felt it was more important to show theirs than mine.
Okay, but this is the one that you created.
This is the one that I did at 5 o'clock. I didn't do the glitter or whatever, so this is what the finished sample would look like. So just using the Kissing Fairy and the Starburst and the Ivy Corner on one of the papers or card that's on the show. Fabulous.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Julia.
That's all right. So I'm going to do a bit of stamping again, but I'm not doing any colouring in, so I can show you a coloured in version, because I want to see if I can get 2 demonstrations done before the end of the hour, if that's okay. So we're using the waterfall. I'm trying to get through as many stamps as we possibly can. And I'm just on a piece of, this is watercolour card. It's the Super Smooth from Sentimentally Yours. And so I'm just going to pop it kind of in the middle-ish there, I think, because I want to put the heron on. So I need to make sure that it's low enough so I can fit the heron on properly. That's the beauty of the acetate. You can see exactly where it needs to go.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So make sure it's straightish, because we don't want our waterfall going sideways on.
That's true.
And again, we're going with the old black, the Nocturne Versafine Clair. Lots of tapping. And give it a press. This is an absolutely beautiful stamp. Really, really lovely. You can see a lot of the design team like this one as well.
Well, yeah, our viewers have been loving it as well. Nearly 80% of the stock has gone of this one.
Good, good. I'm glad they're loving. I mean, Fairy Hugs is. The first show was back beginning of October, so you know, I'm glad that people are loving the designs, because they are stunning. I mean, just in monochrome, it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And we were chatting earlier about extending this design, and I've just mentioned about perhaps giving people the confidence to draw some of their own cobbles in, but have you got any suggestions of how they might want to
Yes, there is a stone wall that you can use if you wanted to actually have a stone wall.
Okay.
The sort of bubbly stencil that we've got that will be back next month, that's been used by the design team.
Okay.
I think it depends on. Sorry, go on.
No. I was just looking around because we had a finished sample with that stencil on, but I'm not sure where it is.
I think it's at the front, Hayley. Now.
Oh, that's probably why I can't see it. Oh yes, so it is. There you go. So this one that we've got in the centre, I mean, this is a brilliant one. Just show it very, very quickly there. You can see it's like a bubbly stencil that is building up that waterfall scene. So, yeah, really clever design. Mind you, I missed this one last time as well. That's a pretty one that Marcus was showing you just a few moments ago as well. I like that one because you've got kind of like a crisp line with that one. It's almost like, it's like an infinity pool, that one, isn't it? Beautiful.
Yeah, it can be whatever you want it to be, can't it? I mean, I remember going to a well-known sort of holiday park that had waterfalls in it. So it reminds me of that a little bit. So I'm going to have the heron just sitting on here.
Lovely.
So because we're using the stamp press, we know exactly where we're going with it. If I were, one of the viewers, and this is what I did when I got a lot of my stamps, is I just took, I mean, obviously if you've got the papers, you're fine, but I just took some blank card and just kind of figured out where they might want to go, or some of them I actually stamped and fussy cut them out, and then I can lay them out and see where I want them to be. So look, he's just stood on there really nicely, isn't he?
It looks like he was meant to be there, but equally so, it could be the little toad that's sitting there if you wanted to, or one of the hedgehogs.
Yes. They all work so well together. It's a fabulous range, and I think that's why people have kind of embraced the new designs.
Very much so.
So this is the...
Katie, our producer, was saying that they remind her of illustrations in a little fairy, kind of like a fairy tale story.
Well, they could be, couldn't they?
Yeah.
They could be whatever you want them to be. Definitely, make your own children's books. Get the children involved.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a holiday coming up. Oh, it's half term now, isn't it?
I think it is,
Easter, the next one.
Yeah. That'll be Easter. That'll be here before we know it.
Beginning of April, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is what the swan. I'm not sure where the swan comes. Does the swan come with the waterfall?
I don't know. I don't think we've got the swan on the show today. We've got the crane.
Is it an end of call?
Oh, it may be. Oh, we'll have to do a bit of digging around. We'll see if we can find out for you.
Because I apologise if I'm using something that I shouldn't be, but
it'll be there somewhere. So if it's not end of call, it'll be one of the items that we've got on the website. But it would make sense if it is an end of call item.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stamp a second one. Obviously, if you wanted white swans, then you could stamp and emboss in white. So we're just doing the second one.
I always think of the black swans.
I should have checked earlier.
When I was, was it? Oh gosh, not Torquay. I can't think where it is now that they've got the black swans. Oh, Dawlish is it? Dawlish Warren, I think it is. They have a lot of black swans.
They're not as common, are they, as the white ones? But beautiful stamp. So there's our scene straight away. So what you can do. Let's just take this out a second.
We've had it confirmed it is Dawlish.
Oh, someone's just fallen down.
Oh, you haven't fallen off your chair?
No.
That's all right then.
No. So we can take a micron pen and you could just extend it out here and extend it out here, and then just put like foliage around. So we could grab our ivy corner. I've got a block this time. And we'll just have some coming in, and we could have like little sprigs of grass or something there if we wanted to. But we can just frame this around the top. So just using one side of it, we can bring it in. So have it down to there on here. So it becomes like. little tendrils, I
yeah,
suppose.
it's nice. It's almost like you're looking through them. Just to give you a little bit of a time check, Julia, we're looking at about 7.5 minutes or so left on the show.
Okay, right. Well, you carry on doing that because I do want to show the other one if possible. And I've got a hexagonal one that I've actually coloured in.
Oh, wow.
Which is among the same lines.
That looks
all I've done
fabulous.
is take some watercolours and I've added some, I don't know if you can see, I've added some white pen.
Oh,
on
yes,
the
yeah, I can
water.
just see a little bit there, yeah, a little accent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's all I've done with that. So it's very, very simple. You know, add a sentiment if you want to, but, you know, it is easy to do.
Wonderful. Right,
Okay.
let you get ready for your next demonstration. I'm speedy, just going to give everybody a bit of a recap. It will be speedy because we want to get back and see what Julia's up to. So if you're wanting your waterfall set, the waterfall, the crane and the frog all coming together at £14.99. 376212 is that item number if you're wanting that. And of course that can be added into your basket alongside any of those others that we saw previously. Next set that we've got for you has got that fabulous moon, the happy moon. We saw this in the first demonstration from Julia. And of course you've got your little fireflies alongside Takara. I hope I pronounced that right. It's a beautiful name. £17.99 if you're wanting this little trio. 094196 is the item number with regards to that one. So if you fancy that trio, pop that one into your basket. Don't check your basket out just yet because you'll want to add these in as well. And this is a lovely little trio again with the fabulous Oliver featuring in this one. And the tree trunks that we saw so useful. And of course that lovely little ivy leaf that we've just saw a few moments ago with Julia there. £20.99, all three of those. 500992 is the item number with that one. But then that gorgeous tree with those large branches with that kind of area in the middle where you could put anything that you like. And the moons as well, obviously, alongside this one. All three stamp plates giving you 4 stamps in total for £21.99. And of course, that flying owl looks amazing if you've gone for those papers we've been chatting about. 105829 if you fancy getting hold of that one. Now, the little hedgehogs, of course, it could be the hedgehogs that your fairies are having a little conversation with. Well, here you go. These all come together in this lovely little set here. So you can see you've got your tree stump, a very useful stump again. And again, if you're looking at kind of framing your designs, the little dancing toadstools, definitely want to go for, or dancing mushrooms, should I say. And of course your hedgehogs there. 088698 if you are wanting those. But last but by no means least are our little gnome friends. And these are adorable. I just think they've got a lovely comical character to them. £10.99, 412181. And of course that little toadstool kind of wheelbarrow or pushchair could have all sorts of goodies in there. If you fancy getting hold of those, then you can add them in alongside any of those other stamp sets. We're going to head back to Julia now, and she's working with those lovely papers again. So let's see what Julia's up to.
Okay, so yes, I'm using another one of the papers, and I've got the moon tree that I'm going to stamp, and I'm stamping it off the paper so that we can actually put something else here.
Lovely.
So we're going to go for pine cone VersaFine Claire this time, which is a brown. And I only need to do this side. I'm one of those people that forgets what they're doing, and I end up inking the whole thing.
It's easily done.
But at least I know. Yeah, at least I know I'm going to get it right, aren't I? I'm still making a heck of a mess, look.
It's a clever design, this one, because it could kind of tumble off the page to the left or the right, whichever way you want to work with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it would look lovely with, I haven't done it yet, but you know the Tim Holtz embossing glaze?
Yes.
Because they're like transparent embossing powders. I think it would be tremendous with that. So give it a good old press. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
Good detail.
Happy with that. Yeah, it's tremendous, isn't it? You can colour it in or not colour it in, however you want. It's very flexible. Then we're going to take Harwep, or Haro, sorry. I'm taking Tarwep and adding it to Haro and making
you're
Harwep.
streets ahead of me because I just called them gnomes because that was easier.
They're gnomes, aren't they?
Gnomes,
the gnomes are happy. So he looks like he's holding something, actually, doesn't he? We're going back to the
clever
black.
silhouettes again.
Yeah, yeah. So I might have to do this one twice.
Now, Julie, we're coming down to the last 3 minutes of the show. When are we seeing you back in the studio?
I'm back in on Tuesday at 3 and 7 for Memory Box.
Ooh, lovely. Look forward to it.
The next Fairy Hugs show is on the 15th of March.
Okay. Oh, that's not too long to wait, though.
No, it isn't actually, is it? No. So there's Harwhip. I think I must have glitter or something on that little bit, which is a little bit annoying. So that's where we're going with that. And we're going to take... We could put a moon in here if we wanted to. Let's do a couple of things at once. Try and get through as many stamps as possible. So we can put one of the... See, the smallest moon's going to fit in there.
Yes.
And then we can bring in the flying owl up here, just coming in to see the scene.
Wonderful. And we're going to bring in the details up of the stamps that Julie's working with at the moment. So if you're wanting your full moons, they come. In fact, all the elements that Julie's working with are all part of that same stamp set. £21.99, 105829. And of course, if you do want your fabulous little gnomes, or your gnomes as we were calling them, £10.99. Don't forget those papers as well, because the papers are a ready built backdrop. So it makes it so simple, so easy for you to build up something that looks absolutely incredible so quickly and easily. Oh, look at this, Julie. It looks amazing.
Look at that. So I would actually probably on this one, because we've got an area here, I would actually come in with my my ivy and add my ivy at the top probably. But again, once you've popped it onto wherever they are, my black pieces of card, I don't know why they've gone, then you've got a nice piece. Oh, sorry.
Frames it beautifully.
Bang, 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 bang. Getting excited now.
Oh, wow, look at that. Amazing.
They're just wonderful, aren't they? Absolutely wonderful.
Juliet, thank you so much. I don't know if you can manage to get your camera reset, but thank you so much. All those fabulous examples, and of course, do go back and watch the show. 5 o'clock this afternoon, I was here with lovely Julia. She was here in the studio, and of course, she's back at home now, creating some fabulous designs. Thanks, Julia. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. So there you go. If you've got anything in your basket, please make sure you're checking your baskets out, because some of those items are being incredibly popular and the stock is becoming more and more vulnerable. We're going to be going over to our nighttime hours, so if you are watching on a repeat, I hope you managed to get hold of them.